gentlemen, Kenneth Williams' Cabaret. For the next 27 minutes, starting now, without hesitation, repetition, or deviation, but with interruption from star guests, you'll be in the company of Mr. Kenneth Williams!
Welcome to half an hour of fun, frippery and frolic. It was to have been an hour, actually, but half the show got cut on account of the scriptwriter was half-cut. I mean, some of the ideas were ludicrous. You see, come on in the Dorita swing bag with the Diamante bodice and sing this number. Light the lights, clear the tracks, you've got nothing to do but... Yes, that's what you wanted me to do. Can you imagine? I said, rubbish, no thank you, it's not me. I'm more your suave, butch. Yes, you know. I said, I'm more your suave, butch compare with the dulcet tones doing the good evening and welcome bit. Because I do that nicely, do you notice that? Good evening and welcome. I do it charmingly, don't I? And it comes trippingly off the tongue, you see. There's no strain. Because you can't strain your opening. You can't, no, your greens, yes, but your opening, no. You can't have a strained opening. No good coming on saying, good evening, welcome to the show. I mean, they'd think your mind was elsewhere, wouldn't they? Think you'd strained a ligament or something. And you can't shout at them either like some terrible sergeant major. Good evening, It ruins the tonsils, wreaks havoc with your larynx. You end up with the bronchial blockage. It happened to me. But enough of my troubles. You want to hear about our first guest this evening. And ladies and gentlemen, it is Cantabile.
Listen to the rhythm of the bebop sound. Focus on smokers in the cocktail lounge. Glancing at the dance, I'm hanging around. I'm here with Mr. Jazz. Moving is grooving, it'll make you dance. A reason for him, please, there's a spell of romance. Tonight's the night you might be in with a chance. Just trust in Mr. Jazz. As you hear that music play, you'll find your senses slip away, and then you'll have to spend the day along with Mr. Jazz. You'll be taken and be taken by surprise. Give it to the rhythm that can hypnotize. Only when the night is through you realize the size of Mr. Jazz. Hoo-dee-baba, dee-dee-dee-bop, dee-bop, dee-bop, hoo-yah, mama. He's a North American star. From nightfall till dawn he will shine your shoe leather. No cold won't powers in their ivory towers can long resist such heavy weather. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da, ba-doo-doo-doo-doo, ba-doo-doo-doo-doo-ba. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da, ba-doo-doo-doo-doo, ba-doo-doo-doo-ba. Do-ah, 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 da-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da, as goes, well, then the goes right up for sale. And guess who's blowing up again? That's right, it's Mr. Jazz. Come as the bobby goes as you pass. He uses all the juice into one glass. Crooning and swooning at the buddy's brass. He's gone on Mr. Jazz. That's Mr. Jazz.
Thank you, Cantabile. I'm still having trouble with this scriptwriter. He's round the back moaning in the dressing room, ranting on about the BBC not providing refreshments. I said there's crisps and twiglets. They're nice, those twiglets, aren't they? He dismissed them with contempt, a load of rubbish. And then he started on again about the song. Why didn't you finish it? He said, marvellous that. Light the lights, clear the tracks, you've got nothing to do. You don't want to hear it go in, do you? No. No, I said, no, it's not me. Ah, I hear you ask. What is me? Yes. How often have you writhed in torment and uncertainty, asking yourself, who is Kenny? What is Kenny? Who does he think he is? One woman came up to me and said, who do you think you are? I said, madam, there is a destiny that shapes our ends. She then shaped yours very well, have they? Yes, there's a touch of doom in your deportment. I said, well, that was an old war wound. I was out there, wasn't I, with my back to the wall. She said, what wall? I said, Adrian's wall, of course. Yes, I was holding it up. That Adrian had no idea about Brick Lane. Oh, he had no idea. He had 5,000 Romans, you know, with muscles rippling and sweating in the noonday heat, and the result, lovely sunburnt arms. But of course, a rotten wall. And I'm a sun worshipper myself. I can't get enough of it. That's why my skin is this lovely olive. Had I the time or the inclination to divest myself, you would see that I was olive all over. People cry out, that's olive all over. I said, I know olive. Of course I know. Of course I know her. I mean, one port and lemon and everyone knows her. Shouting the odds, shame the housetops, I avoid her. The last I heard, she'd renounced all worldly goods and asked for 77 other offences taken into consideration. Like myself, I've renounced more worldly goods than you've had hot dinners, I can tell you. None of your social gadfly for me. I am your actual recluse. They can have their park lanes and their limousines. They can have their sequined handbags. They can have mine. Enough of this rhodomontade. It's time for you to hear another kind of drollery. And incidentally, she is a really dear chum of mine. So I want a very warm welcome for Miss Pat Coombs.
Hello? Hello, Maud? Maud? Is that you? It's me. Me, Gert. Yes. Oh, I ain't caught you doing something, have I? Hey, you eating? Oh, new teeth. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, it sounds like you was eating. Well, if you're entitled to 'em, have 'em, that's what I say. Yes, you paid in. Course. Well, no, listen, no, you have to persevere with 'em, yes. Oh, my sister was the same, yeah. She seems to be getting on all right with 'em now, though. Yes, she wears 'em all the time now. We call her Jaws. Yeah. She has to take 'em out when she's eating. Yeah. Or talking, yes. Well, see, they bite her tongue when she talks. Yeah. No, anyway, no, listen. Oh, we had a marvellous funeral down here last week. Oh, yeah, you would have loved it. Yes. Remember old Mrs. Fairclough at number 13? Yes. Well, she died. 95. Well, she couldn't grumble, I suppose. She'd had a good run. Yes, 95. She had her share of the old age pension before she went. Must have got back a good bit of what she paid in. Yes. Here, listen, I'll see her up the cemetery a few months before she dies. Burying her eldest daughter, Win. Yes. I had a little joke with her. I said, here, I said, hardly worth you going home again, is it? Yeah, she laughed. Well, I mean, many a true word. Oh, but she had a good send-off, though. Went off in a big limousine. Yes. Of course, she'd have preferred the horses. They never started the horses trotting till they was 3 streets away, did they? Yes. Yeah. Different now, though. They just rush you off now. Can't wait to get you down now. Yeah. Even go through red lights. Here, we got them new buses now. Yes. When you have to pay the driver now when you get on. Oh, yes, not like in the old days when they had conductors. I know, yes. Yeah, you get a free ride in them days. Yes, that's right. Yes, you go upstairs, get down the front, shut your eyes and make out you was asleep. Yeah, no one asked you for your fare. Make yourself comfortable. Start snoring and no one bothered you. Yeah. Here, I got bothered once, though. Want the conductor, though? No. I'm sure it wasn't him, but... Well, see, I couldn't open my eyes in case it was him. Well, I hadn't got the fare, had I, you see? Awkward. He kept his hand there from Aldgate to Oxford Circus. Only took it off then, I suppose, because he had to get off himself. Unless it was the conductor. Yeah. And I had 2 more stops to go, so I couldn't open my eyes till then. In case it was. Yes. Well, whoever he was ever so gentle, yeah. Yes, not like some you meet. No. All grab, aren't they now? Yes. Wish I'd had the fare, though. Seen what he was like. I've often wondered what he was like. Yes, I know. Well, I better get off this phone and let you get to bed then. Course, I keep forgetting. It's night time in Australia now, isn't it? Yes, and no, listen, I've got to phone our Georgie in Canada before old Carey gets in. He's a mean old sod. He don't like us cleaning ladies using his phone. Cheery ho, then. Good on ya.
Thank you very much, the Pat Coombs. Our next spot was to have featured Ethel Fosdyke discussing the Shoeburyness social circle and knitting class. You know the sort of thing, knit one, drop one, purl one. I thought it was a straightforward social circle and knitting class where you all sat round in a circle being social and showing your class. But apparently it's a matrimonial agency as well. I was taken aback. Well, they were still knitting the front. And they said, it's all done by computer. We feed in your data and find you an ideal companion. I said, Is this what romance has come to? Put your mate in a machine? Will you make me into a cipher? Will you give me a number? They said, don't worry, mate, we've all got your number. But I expect you're wondering how I got mixed up with Ethel Fosdyke. Anyway, well, I'll tell you, she runs this Shoeburyness annual fete. She's on the pickle stall, and she does a marvellous apple turnover. And she asked me to open it. The fete, not the turnover. And I went down there, and I was in the middle of my soliloquy, and I noticed the sparsity, and I said, here, half of them are gone. She said, yes, well, it says in the programme, if wet, go to running buffet. I said, but it's not wet. She said, no, but you are. I thought, oh, well, there's many a true word spoken in Shoeburyness. I joined the rest of them in this running buffet. We were all running round this buffet. I nearly caught up with it twice. And eventually we came to the actual pièce de résistance. That's French for the one you can't resist. And they couldn't resist my rendering of the love duet from Playhouse and Millicent. Aha, yes, I hear you ask, yes. How can one man, I hear you ask, do a duet? Well, you see, it's because I am one of your actual bivocals. And it got a fantastic reception. And afterwards they said, Kenny, why limit it to Shoeburyness? Why not take it to Rome, Paris, Berlin, and leave it there. So I did, which was just as well, because it's time for you to meet our next guest. Let's have a warm hand for someone I have adored ever since I first saw her on Play Away. Ladies and gentlemen, Julie Covington.
Like easy come and easy go, and play it cool and keep it gay. We were in love the only way the free can be. But do you realize what you meant to me? Try to lead me on. My eyes were open all the way and really scarcely even shone. But now you've easy come and gone. It feels unreal. I guess there must be something wrong. That was a song written by Pete Atkin and Clive James, and I'm now going to sing you a song which is quite a bit older than that one, and it's called After You've Gone. Come listen to me, honey, while I say, how come you tell me that you're going away? Don't say that we must part. Don't break my aching heart. You know I've loved you, baby, through the years. I've loved you night and day. Come on now, baby, can't you see my tears? Listen to what I say. After you've gone and left me crying, after you've gone, there's no denying. You'll feel blue, you'll feel sad, you'll miss the best pal that you've ever had. There'll come a time, don't you forget it. There'll come a time, you know that you'll regret it. Oh, baby, think what you're doing. You know my love for you will drive me to ruin. After you've gone away. best pal that you've ever had. There'll come a time that you forget it. There'll come a time you know that you'll regret it. Oh, baby, think what you're doing. You know my love for you will drive me to ruin after you're gone. After you've gone away.
Thank you, Julie Covington. And now we come to the diary spot. This is where I run over the week's events. Monday, the steam and massage parlour at Plumstead, where the masseur said, "Ew, you've got a nasty mole on your neck." I said, "Yes, they come in from the river. Knock it off." Tuesday dinner with Elvira Crystal Ball Clotworthy and her new medium, Chipati of Clapham. She said he produced an ectoplasm, but it looked more like a blancmange to me. Wednesday, the Andalusian folk dancing at Camden Town. They didn't look very Andalusian either. When I called out, "Hasta la vista," one of them shouted, "Do me a favour." Quite low, they didn't sound Spanish at all. And then Thursday, saw Elvira again. She said Chipati of Clapham had introduced her to Indian roulette. I said, "That's a new one on me. I've heard of Russian roulette. What on earth is Indian roulette?" She said, "You sit with your snake charmer's flute, playing it, surrounded by 6 cobras, and one of them's deaf." Well, I know you're all agog to hear the rest of the week's happenings, but you'll have to wait. You'll have to wait until the next episode. So it's time now for you to welcome back our singing group, ladies and gentlemen, Cantabile.
The olden days, a glimpse of Starkey was looked on as something shocking. Now heaven knows anything goes. Two who once knew better words, now only use for letter words, writing prose. Anything goes. The world has gone mad today, and good's bad today, and black's white today, and day's night today, when most guys today that women prize today are just silly gigolos. So though I'm not a great romancer, I know that you're bound to answer when I propose. Anything goes. Times have changed, and we've often rewound the clock since the Puritans got a shock when they landed on Plymouth Rock. If today shock they should try to stand, instead of landing on Plymouth Rock would land on them. In olden days, a glimpse of Starkey was looked on as something shocking. Now heaven knows anything goes. Good authors too, who once knew better words, now only use for letter words, writing prose. Anything goes. The world has gone mad today, and good's bad today, and black's white today, and day's night today, when most guys today that women prize today are just silly gigolos. So though I'm not a great romancer, I know that you're bound to answer when I propose. Anything goes. Anything goes. Anything goes.
Cantabile, and that, I'm afraid, brings us to the end of the show. And yes, but we've got this lovely closing quatrain from Hartley Stacknich, the well-known knee trembler of Neasden, and it's entitled No, come on, something about. It's entitled Consolation. Happy the man who walks alone and keeps to a solitary route, but better the man who drives a car with a couple of birds in the boot.
Kenneth Williams' Cabaret starred Kenneth Williams. His guests were Cantabile, Junie Covington and Pat Coombs. Music from the Burt Rhodes Orchestra. The script was by Kenneth Williams and Johnny Spate, and the show was produced by Jonathan James Moore.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kenneth Williams' Cabaret. For the next 27 minutes, starting now, without hesitation, repetition or deviation, but with interruption from star guests, you'll be in the company of Mr. Kenneth Williams.
Good evening and welcome to half an hour of radio razzmatazz presented by your own blue-eyed Bloomsbury bombshell, the lovely, the delectable, put him on the mantelpiece, Kenneth Williams. Yes, well, I'm not one to blow my own trumpet. I am your natural foghorn anyway, and I have the flared nostrils to prove it. What a nose, eh? What a nose! It's been variously referred to as retrousse, patrician, and wahooter. But when I've been sneezing, I'm not kidding, it's like an electric light bulb. Well, I mean, you can see me coming a mile off. They did tonight when I arrived here. They were shouting and screaming. I was besieged by fans. I had to remonstrate. I said, here, you two ladies can be heard halfway up the street. I said, this is a BBC show. BBC show. People are trying to sleep. And she said, well, you're the man for this show. It wants someone with guts and go and virility. And I said, yes, you're right. And I've got the guts and go, and I'm sure we can come to some arrangement. And here, with their own special arrangement of Sentimental Journey is our group. Give them a warm hand. It is Cantabile.
Every rolling stone gets to feel alone when home sweet home is far away, away. I'm a rolling stone who's been so alone until today. Gonna take a sentimental journey. Gonna set my heart at ease. Gonna make a sentimental journey to renew old memories. I've got my bag, I got my reservations. Spend each dime I could afford. Like a child in wild anticipation, long to hear that all aboard. Seven, that's the time we leave at 7. I'll be waiting up for heaven, counting every mile of railroad track that takes me back. Never thought my heart could be so yearning. Why did I decide to roll? Gotta take a sentimental journey. Sentimental journey home. Sentimental journey home. Sentimental journey home. Sweet
Thank you, Cantabile. Well, there's a bit of class for you, eh? This show caters for your intelligentsia, your detached as opposed to your semi, and your champagne as opposed to the milk stout, your sophisticate as opposed to your actual idiot. All the acts in the show are vetted. And we needed a vet with one of them, I can tell you, because... No, this bloke, Biggs, he brought on what he called was a talking horse. Can you believe it? A talking horse? Can you believe it? He said this horse will answer any questions put to it. And he said, now, for instance, what's the opposite of yay? And this horse went, nay. And then he said, what is the first letter of the alphabet? And the horse said, nay. I said, wait a minute, let's see if he answers my question. And I said to it, now, of what city do they say, see it and die? And the horse went, nay, Florence. I realised straight away it was a con. And I said to this Biggs, go on, get out of here, gave him the boot. Goodbye, and he was out of there like a shot. I'd say goodbye, too. And I have to now, because it's time for you to say hello to Peter Goodright.
Oh, thank you very much indeed. You know, you won't believe this, but I was coming here on the bus, and there was a little chap... there was a little chap sitting next to me, and we got chatting, you know how you do, and I said to him, I said, who are you? I said, who are you? And he said, A.T. I said, oh, extraterrestrial. He said, no, Ernie Thompson. He said, I wonder if you can help me. I said, well, I will if I can, you know. He said, well, you see, it's like this. He said, this dinner time, I was coming out the house, and this geezer come up the garden path. See? And he said to me, he said, are you Ernie Thompson? And I said, yes. He said, well, I'm from Littlewoods. And I said, blimey, I said, don't tell me I've won the pools. He said, no, we just nicked your wife for shoplifting. The world's full of funny things, isn't it, right? Do you know, the other day there was a fire up in Piccadilly Circus, and one of the firemen was going up the ladder when his helmet fell off. Now, a typical Londoner was passing by at that very moment, and he saw that happen. And he thought to himself, oh, dearie, dearie, dearie. He thought, that man is going to need that helmet. So, being a good citizen, he picked up the helmet and went up the ladder after the fireman. Now, by this time, the fireman who got up to the top of the ladder, he was fighting the fire. And the passerby, finding the helmet a bit difficult to manage, put it on his head. So he got up the top of the ladder, and the passerby, to attract the fireman's attention, he pulled on his trouser leg. He said, excuse me. And the fireman said, get off! He said, I got to your helmet. He said, I can't hear a word you're saying. Where are you from? And the fellow said, Bombay. He said, blimey, that was quick. They're not here from Victoria yet. You know, isn't it funny how sometimes you just can't help overhearing what other people talk about, what they say? Here's a little selection of conversations overheard. Oh, what a lovely colour that cow is. Ah, it's a Jersey. Oh, I thought it was its skin. Mavis, did you know it takes 3 sheep to make a sweater? Oh, really? I didn't even know they could knit. I've examined you, Mr. Crowthorne, and I'm very sorry to have to tell you that you've only got 2 weeks to live. Ah. Well, I'll have the last week in August and the first week in September. Our church is looking for a treasurer.
Well, I thought you only had a new one only last month.
Ah, he's the one we're looking for. Good morning. Have you got a sheep's head?
No, it's just the way I part my hair. I've just come from cemetery, Charlie.
Oh, who's dead?
All of them.
I didn't like it in Spain. I kept getting my bottom pinched.
Well, all girls get their bottom pinched in Spain.
With pliers?
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been a very nice audience. Just before I go, I leave you with this thought. Never put off until tomorrow what you can do today. Just think, if you like it today, you can do it again tomorrow. Goodbye!
Thank you, Peter Goodright. Oh, he's a very clever boy. He told me he got his original idea while watching a couple of porpoises sharing an umbrella in the Edgware Road during Quinquagesima. They were sheltering from a thunderstorm at the time. Well, inspiration comes to people in different ways. Archimedes found his in the bath. Benjamin Franklin flew a kite in a storm and discovered electricity. Sir Isaac Newton got smacked on the head with an apple and discovered slapstick. Brilliant act. Oh, the innovations are endless, aren't they? More recent inventions include a device which enables you to watch television in the drawing room while cooking the dinner in the kitchen. It's a fork with a 30-foot handle. Which brings me very cleverly to Handel's Largo, because he composed it. Yes, he did. He composed it naked on top of the Mendip Hills. Well, you see, his mind was going. He'd never been the same since the Largo was diluted with his water music. You see, all these great composers had to battle against tremendous adversity. Look at Tchaikovsky. Every time he said his name, someone said, "Bless you." And he never had a cold in his life, apart from the time he sat on this bare mountain trying to pinch ideas off Handel, who was the dab hand of the old philately. I can tell you. Oh, here you ask, yes. What's stamp collecting got to do with music? Well, I'll tell you. Nothing. It's just a whimsicality such as might be found at the top of the Mendip Hills. They were all up there, all these composers, whimsying about in search of inspiration. Beethoven was up there too. He was with his butler, who was fed up with the whole expedition and freezing to boot. He said, "Listen, Ludwig." He talked like that. He said, "Listen, Ludwig, I'm going. All this composing lark," he said, "it's not me at all. It's all right for you. You're as deaf as a post. You can't hear yourself thumping out all this rubbish on the Joanna. But let's face it, Ducky, you're no Liberace. I like a bit of melody. I can't listen to any more of your stuff. I'm going." And Beethoven said, "You can't leave me. I can't compose anything without you. You've been my inspiration." And he said, "Oh, Ludwig, I've been your inspiration. I can hardly believe that." Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Takes a bit of getting, doesn't it? It's awfully subtle, my stuff, you see. Of course, if Beethoven had been alive today, he'd have been writing songs for me, but he isn't, so instead, here's a number more suited to rambling Sid Rumpo, who'd introduce it thus. Well, hello, me dearios, and my song tonight is about a fabled horse, the Summerset Nog, so-called, because it's like a cross between a nag and a dog. It's half Suffolk Punch and half Dachshund. This Nog is a strange-looking creature. Its 3 hands are 18 foot long. Not pretty to look at, but the rhubarb in that part is one of the And my song tells of a man who wanted to go to the great fair at Gander Poke Bog. So he asked this farmer for a loan of his nog so he can take all his friends with him. And it proceeds in this fashion. Clear my throat, you see. Reg pubes, lend me your great nog, rollock my facet and griddle my nodes. No, something about it. For I want for to go down to Gander Poke Bog, with Len Posset, Tim Screevy, the Reverend Phipps, Peggy Luke, Solly Levi, Ginger Epstein, Abel Stephen True, Fitzcotch Lil, Mrs. Catamount, Mes Habit, Deep Fly and Trust Box, Solicitors and Commissioners for Oaths, Father Fantagost, Alice, David Ash, Eddie Rosencrantz, Barbara Woodhouse, Old Uncle Dick Francis and all, Old Uncle Dick Francis and all. So they all go on, except for Alice, who don't get on with no one, and off they go. But, no, something's not there. No, sad to relate. The horse snaps in two and expires. But they do say, as how its ghost walks abroad in the 2 hours, and if you be passing Gander Poke Bog at midnight, they do say you can hear the 2 ghostly halves of the nog singing in duet. Reg pubes, you lent your great nog, rollock me facet and griddle my nose. And now my remains are in Gander Poke Bog, with Len Posset, Tim Screevy, the Reverend Phipps, Peggy Luke, Solly Levi, Ginger Epstein, Abel Stephen True, Fitzcotch Lil, Mrs. Catamount, Mess, Happy Deep Fly, Trust Box, and Commissioners for Oaths, Feather Anticost, the Alice, David Ash, Eddie Rosencrantz, Barbara Woodhouse, and Uncle Dick Francis and all, Old Uncle Dick Francis and all. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that underwhelming reception. And now it's time for you to meet a real singer. Yes, it is. Let's have a warm hand, ladies and gentlemen, for Lois Lane.
Cigarette holder, which wigs me over his shoulder. He digs me. Out catting that satin dog. Baby, shall we go out skipping? Careful, let me go. You're flipping. He speaks Latin. Satin dog. He's nobody's fool, so I'm playing it cool as can be. I'll give it a try, but I ain't for no guy catching me. Telephone numbers, well, you know, I'm doing my rumbas with you know, and that my satin dog, yeah. Out catting, that satin dog. He speaks Latin, my satin dog. Satin dog. I'm gonna play it cool as can be. Maybe I'll give it a try, but I ain't for no guy catching me. Switcheroonie, telephone numbers. Well, you know I'm doing my rubbers with you know I sat down. Satin down, and then my satin down.
Lovely artist, takes you out of yourself, doesn't she? And I needed taken out of myself. I can tell you, I've been feeling a little one. Well, I have, and I saw this travel film, lovely scenery, and this voice-over said,
majestic palms shelter the holidaymakers. He sips his glass of eau-de-vie, while the young ones strum their washboards on the surfboards. See an ancient civilization shake hands with modern culture as a gnarled old goat herd tending his flock on the hillside road is run over by a continental Bentley. Yes, it is all happening. Life on the French Riviera is gay.
And I thought, oh, well, I'll have a bicycle, you know, off the gaiety. So I shot round. Yes, you've done it too. I shot round to this travel agent. She said, yes, I can do you 14 days, £100, party of 6. I said, £100? That's marvellous. All in? She said, yes. All 6 of you in the same room. No, I don't fancy that. All that jostling for the basin. No, it's the closest that counts. We always say the closer the contact, the less of the cost. You'll love every minute of it, shaving together in the same mirror. I said, don't bother, Ducky. I went to my usual haunt, anyway, with Mrs. Clotworthy at Monrepo, the front, Fringford. Yeah, she's very good. Marvellous there. £15 a night with use of cruet. Oh, very nice. She keeps a lovely table, and such repartee. I said to her, is this toad in the hole? She said, no, it's punched up the uter. Laugh, I thought I'd never start. So anyway, I must stop now, because they're signaling me to introduce, for the closing number, Cantabile.
A north country maid up to London had strayed, although with her nature it did not agree, which made her repent and so bitterly lament. I wish once again for the north country, the oak and the ash and the bonny ivy tree, they flourish at home in my own country. Oh, the oak and the ash, oh, the ivy tree. She liked not the court nor the city resorts, since there was no fancy for maids such as she. Their pomp and their pride I never can abide, because with my humour it does not agree. The oak and the ash and the bonny ivy flourish at home in my own country. The oak and the ash and the bonny ivy flourish at home in my own country. music on each holiday. The oak and the ash and the bonny ivy tree, they flourish at home in my own country. The oak and the ash and the bonny ivy tree, they flourish at home in my own country. The oak and the ash and the bonny ivy tree, they flourish at home in my own country.
Thank you, Cantabile. Well, it only remains for me to quote those lovely lines penned by Hartley Stackney Trinado, kick a cod cutlet for Cleethorpes Week, and dedicated... No, shut your brow. It's dedicated... No, shut up, it is. Dedicated to all senior citizens. When I was young, I'd woo a girl. I'd flatter her beauty and spoil her. But now that I'm old and grey, I'll settle for any old boiler.
Kenneth Williams' cabaret starred Kenneth Williams. His guests were Cantabile, Lois Lane, and Peter Goodright. Music was by the Burt Roach Orchestra, the script was by Kenneth Williams, and the show was produced by Jonathan James Moore. Gentlemen, Kenneth Williams' Cabaret. For the next 27 minutes, starting now, without hesitation, repetition, or deviation, but with interruption from star guests, you'll be in the company of Mr. Kenneth Williams.
Good evening and welcome to half an hour of Radio Rhodomontade with your how'd you say it? It means you can't impersonate them, doesn't it? Yeah. Actually, I have been impersonated, and the bloke said to me afterwards, what do you think of me doing an impersonation of you? I said, well, one of us is terrible. Anyway, I was staggered when I was asked to do this show. I really was staggered. They had me up at the boardroom of the BBC. It was very grand. All your Sheraton and your Spanish tooled leather and your framed photograph of a Nona Wynn. All the biggest heads were there, some of the biggest heads in show business, I can tell you. And the chairman said, sign this declaration before you actually do any work for us. I said, what is it? They said, standard practice. You simply certify you've never been a nudist, atheist, or a polygamist. I said, polygamist? Well, but that bloke has, bloke has got loads of, The bloke has got loads of different women, hasn't he? They said, that's right. I said, well, if I'm a bloke with loads of different women, I mean, would I lose the job? They said, no, we close all the doors and you tell us what it's like. Well, I won't bore you with what ensued, but suffice it to say they turned a Nona Wynn's photo to the wall. And they're still in there deliberating. Well, I say deliberating. I mean, what they're doing, and none of my business. It's my business to introduce you to our first guest this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a warm hand for Cantabile. Thank you, Cantabile. Well, the postman has been staggering under the weight of my fan mail. I can't tell you. All appropriately stamped first-class mail. Well, post office... No, the post office know what they're doing. No, the contents were heavy too, heavy with passion and ardour. Oh, they don't come any ardour, I can tell you. Well, I'm a cult. And one of them actually wrote, I would deem it an honour to scrub your doorstep, polish your paintwork, and shiver your timbers. I thought, well, it's very nice of her, but I haven't got any timbers to shiver. I'm more your laminated plastic and your uncut moquette, you know. It's a pity her offer hadn't come a few days earlier. I put an advert in, the Cowkeeper's Guide, actually, for Girl Friday Come Daily wanted to run bachelor establishment for West End celeb, out Thursdays, automatic boiler, no stoking. And the only answer I got one answer, would you believe, the humiliazione? One answer. It come from a woman signing herself Florrie Plume, late of Roebuck's Family Hotel. So I asked her to come round for an interview at her convenience, and she turned out 8 o'clock in the morning. Well, don't call that convenient. And not at all. I was déshabillé, or déshabillé, as the French say. I was still in the nightshirt. She wasn't well prepared either, because she said, I won't take my coat off. I won't take my coat off, she said. I said, what do you mean? You're not stopping? She said, no, I've got nothing on underneath. I was late and I ran out too quick, you know, and it's made me a little behind. Well, even with her coat on, I could see that wasn't true. I said, come, madam. I said, come. May I ask why you left Roebuck's Family Hotel? She said, Roebuck's Family. She said, I could tell you things make your hair curl. I said, up to the age of 15, it did. It cascaded. No, it did. It cascaded down, right down to my waist. Oh, I had lovely hair. You could sit on it. I did sit on it. She said, so could I. I could sit on mine. I was on the halls. I did a very refined act, striptease with a difference. I said, what was the difference? She said, well, when I took my clothes off, all the men averted their gaze. I said, oh, charming. How very polite. All the men averted their gaze. She said, yes, I averted mine too, and I fell in the orchestra stalls. How appalling, I said. You could have ruined your patella sac. To say nothing of your coccyx. She said, no, she never did say anything about her coccyx. She said, it was all right because my fall was broken by Mr. Roebuck. Afterwards in the dressing room, he knelt before me. His passion knew no bounds. I became putty in his hands. I was like a young gazelle leaping about the mossy turf. I said, you surprised me. Should I surprise Mr. Roebuck? He was the mossy turf. The memories of my lost youth. The memories. She went right, yes. She went right off. She burst into tears. Well, I can't stand to see a woman cry, so I walked away and left her. Just as well, really, because it's time for me to introduce you to... Let's have a warm hand for him, too. Ladies and gentlemen, Jonathan Adams.
Now, you know what London's all about, don't you? When you get down to it, yeah. No, culture. Jogging off to the festival hall for a few sounds, scarping round the National Gallery for a gander at the pictures, bumming off down the National Theatre for the odd masterpiece of war drama, you know, that sort of thing. Well, I mean, that's what keeps me living here anyway. Well, that and the stress. No, the name's Clapp, by the way. Sid Clapp. Newly appointed drama critic of The Sun. Yeah, the West End, eh? What a wonderful glittering galaxy of shows to choose from. Have you seen Cats? No, neither have I. Well, you can't get in for love nor money, so they tell me. Of course, it's policy, isn't it? They don't want the public in there. No. After all that pre-publicity, why should they take the risk of letting the public in? You know, only the backers have seen it. There's a mousetrap, still playing to coachloads of eager theatre-going mice. 29 amazing years, and still as fresh as you'd expect the contents of any mousetrap to be after 29 amazing years. What else is there? Oh, yeah. Ballet. Couldn't get over that personally the time I saw it. Well, I mean, each to his own, but if you want to see a kind of person enjoys watching a particular type of bloke jumping about in a particular type of tight, binoculars are provided. Opera, I can't speak for. They will sing, and I find it stops you enjoying the band. All right, no. No, thank you. No, all right. Call me a Philistine, but that's critics for you, and that's what we've paid for, isn't it? Still, don't forget the name, Sid Clapp. I'll be on page 3, along with all the other knockers. Thank you very much. Either that or in the bar. Thank you very good night. Yeah. Thank you very much. Now, talking of openings, I've had an interview with Sir Johnny Betjeman. Nice bloke, actually, though he'd never heard of the Sun. And he composed a new love poem, and it's called Hammersmith Recollected in Tranquility. Hammersmith Henrietta, pie-eyed as a newt and stoned when I met her. Westering questioning settles the sun on her dear old sausage-skin bondage and safety-pin dear hole. She eases into her latex, hangs the chains round her thigh, for we dance at the Palais, my Hetty and I. By roads that are up by unswept ways, we drive on a Honda in the late summer haze into 9 o'clock Hammersmith, heavy with bells, of old Mr. McWhippy, ice lollies he sells. Past King's Mall and King Street, the Broadway I sigh over. I am weak from your loveliness, Hammersmith flyover. Underneath, dog poops and beer cans are seen near, and takeaway cartons, Colonel Sanders been here. Hammersmith Hetty, shock-headed Hetty, henna'd hair like a yeti. Hetty said, John, are you into crumpet? You could have it for free. I said, I'm into cathedrals, but might be nice after tea. We sat in the car park. She squeezed me. I let her. Now I'm really into Hammersmith Henrietta. Thank you so much.
Jonathan Adams, and now I'd like to sing you a plaintive song about something very fashionable at the moment, the computer, and it's called Above All Else. A computer called Elsie, who worked down in Whitehall, used to get right all the sums that she did, adding and subtracting, terribly exacting, from -3/8 to millions of quid, and instead of blokes wearing their fingers and thumbs out, working great sums out until they were numb, they would say, switch on Elsie. Her dial would light up, but sadly she'd hum.
I'm needing love, love, love. I just need some love, love, love. A little affection sent in my direction.
I'll have a short circuit if some doesn't come. Then one day in spring, when her job was subtracting, she began acting a little bit strange. Added half her weight in, then she threw the date in, plus every phone number on London's exchange, and she tried to divide it at Paddington Station. And in desperation, the square root of 2 till they said, nothing else, see. You need a new valve, but how little they knew.
She needed love, love, love. She just needed love, love, love. This lonely computer who longed for a suitor.
She blew out her fuses and all white holes too. They took her away the next day in a lorry. They said they were sorry that Elsie was fired. What she cost the nation nearly caused inflation. To start with, they had to have Whitehall rewired. She was dumped, broken-hearted, in some old antique shop on top of a speak your weight weighing machine. And he said, "Hello, Elsie. You weigh in your stocking feet 12 stone 13.
She'd found her love, the voice of her love. Love took its time coming,
but now things are humming. To make up lost time, if you know what I mean. They've more baby transistors than you've ever seen." It's ravishing, isn't it? I've had loads of requests to lift a corner of my personal dossier. A sort of Butch Compare tells all saga, you know what I mean? Tracing my early beginnings. Now, the story starts when I was a flaxen-haired stripling doing the glass blowing in Wolverhampton. I was glass blown on the thermometers. They wanted that little bulb on the end. You know, that bulb on the end that holds the mercury. You're only supposed to huff delicately, but I got an extra wind and I blew myself a goldfish bowl. And it was enormous. Practically a Hollywood bowl, actually. And the foundry was in uproar. They said, "Kenny, you've blown a beauty." Oh, it's true. The foreman, when he went round, he was ecstatic. He said, "You've got abdominal breathing, you have. It's wonderful. That's where you get your wind. You'd make a wonderful singer." Anyway, he said, "You must join our glee club. We could use you for the folk singing. Do you know the Fishermen of England?" I said, "Well, one or two." Mainly the sardine boats round Boscastle. He said, now they're your counter-tenors. I said, "Yes, they are rather high, especially when the wind is northeasterly." He said, "It's the sardines that do it. All voices are related to diet. You wouldn't believe the effect of Skate's eyeballs." I said, "Skate's eyeballs? What do they do?" He said, "Nothing for your voice, but you can see for miles." I said, "Really?" Well, that started it. I was singing everything there from Iolanthe to Iowatha, ending up with a recital of Peruvian madrigals. And I don't actually speak Peruvian, but I can do the gestures, you see. I was going to do it tonight, but the producer demurred, which is probably just as well anyway, because it's time for you to meet a real singer. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a warm welcome for Isla Sinclair.
If I turn back the calendar, I'd surely see two hearts together, entangled and free, to decide what the future was holding in store. As the time passed us by, we would see what the world would let Nicola be. And if ever a promise that somehow came true was to grow like the flowers, so fresh and so new, I believe in my heart that that promise was you, like the sun and the sea and the snow. It's so good to see Nicola grow. Oh, how the winds blow, free as a teardrop and precious as snow. Oh, how the time flies, on the wings of an angel we'll go, if it's just to see Nicola grow. If I turn back the calendar, I'd surely see all of the hope that's been hiding in me, all the love and compassion I needed to share. As the time passed us by, we would see what the world would let me
Thank you, Isla Sinclair. Now, I know a lot of you have been wondering why this show hasn't had more coverage in the Radio Times, and I've wondered too. I have. I offered them a photo of me for the cover. I mean, it was marvellous. It was, with my shirt slashed to the waist, you know. Oh, it was ever so sexy, and really, could see all the hairs poking right through the string vest, you know. And they turned it down. Unsuitable, they said. I said, it's very fetching. And I said, that'll get them going. It's her suit. But they said, we don't care if it's her suit or his suit. It doesn't suit us. Much too skinny. That really worried me, you know, so I shot round to the doctor and I told him I'd been having these funny turns, and he said, I've had some funny turns in this surgery, I can tell you. I had a childless couple in here, wanted to know why they couldn't have children. I told them. I told the woman, I said, you've got too much albumin in your body and your husband has too much sugar in the blood. You can't have children, but you can make lovely meringues. Anyway, he gave me these vitamin pills. I said, what about having monkey glands? He said, no, you've got an excess of them already. So, lacquer-day and rue, and as Cleopatra said when her bath overflowed, it's no good crying over spilt milk. She did say that, that's historical fact. Because it's time for you now to hear a farewell song from Cantabile.
Hello, goodbye, I don't know why I said hello, I meant goodbye. Bum, 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 bum. Goodbye, wipe a tear, baby dear, from your eye. Though it's hard to part, I know. Bum, 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 bum. Shooby-doo, shooby-doo. Goodbye, Dolly, I must leave you. I must leave you, goodbye, goodbye, we're leaving you. Goodbye, goodbye, we wish you all a last goodbye. Good night, Vienna. Good night, Vienna. Good night, Vienna. I'm sailing to the straight that good night, Vienna. Good night, ladies. Wipe a tear from your eye and pack up all your cares and woes. Here we go, sinking low. Bye, bye, blackbird. I don't know why I said he waits for me. So is she. Bye, bye, blackbird. You know I let it alone and understand me. Goodbye, what hard stories they all hand. They make the bed and light the lights. I don't know. Blackbird, goodbye, bye, 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 bye. Oh, blackbird, bye, 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 bye. So goodbye, dollies, we must leave you. Goodbye, Kenneth, we must leave you for the night.
Well, special thanks to Cantabile for providing us with such a splendid finish. It only remains for me to thank you for your kind attention and to remind you of the immortal lines from Hedley Stecknich written for Save a Satsuma for Sexagesima. There are those who laugh at trouble, wear a smile for one and all. They are bright and gay and cheerful, and they drive you up the wall.
Williams Cabaret starred Kenneth Williams. His guests were Cantabile, Jonathan Adams, and Isla Sinclair, with music from the Burt Rhodes Orchestra. The script was by Kenneth Williams and Kerry Crabb, and the show was produced by Jonathan James Moore.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kenneth Williams Cabaret. For the next 27 minutes, starting now, without hesitation, repetition, or deviation, but with interruption from star guests, you'll be in the company of Mr. Kenneth Williams!
Delightful to see you all. Good evening, and may I say, what an honour. What an honour it is for you to have me. Since the last show, the BBC was bombarded with calls, people crying out for more. We want sagacity and great wit, they were crying. Bring back the great wit. The producer said, are you the great twit? And I said, me, the great wit? No, you great twit. I said, no, I'm a cult. I'm an enormous cult figure. I am your actual original cult figure. I'm the biggest cult going, I can tell you. Well, I'm the biggest cult round here, anyway. And, in fact, it's been given the wrong slant in some quarters. Some people got it mixed up with the occult. Yes. Anyway, there was a flood of correspondence about the astral plane. They told me never cross water when Mars is under Uranus. Well... You've had it. Yes, you've been to the same play. Yeah, they always tell you this, don't they? I wouldn't cross water anyway. It wreaks havoc with the plumbing, doesn't it? Yes, and they said never eat oysters when there's an R in the month. Never eat a Swiss roll on... I wouldn't eat a Swiss roll any day. I mean, what's wrong with a British roll? Hey, what's wrong with a British roll? Yes, I'm glad to hear it. Thank you. A little patriotism. Not out of place, is it? Nothing wrong with a British roll. You can have it butter, you can have it with jam, you can have it in the arm, you can have it in the wrap, and if you're very lucky, you can have it with a waffle. If you want, you've got a bike, you can give it nothing away. And that, yeah, brilliant, wasn't it? I just comes so trippingly off the tongue, doesn't it? And that brings me very neatly to our first guest this evening. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want a warm reception for Cantabile.
Right now, I'm going to start at the top of the card, and what are you going to give me a fine? 5, 25, will you give me 30, make it 30, will you make it 30, will you give me 35, 5, make it 40, will you give me 40, will you give me 45, 5, make it 50, will you give me 50, make it 55, 5.
There was a boy from Arkansas, wouldn't listen to his ma when she told him he'd have to go to school. He'd sneak away in the afternoon, take a little walk, and pretty soon you'd find him at the local auction barn. He'd stand and listen carefully, and pretty soon he began to see how the auctioneer could talk so rapidly. He said, oh my, it's do or die, gotta learn that auction cry, gonna make my mark and become an auctioneer. And here he comes.
$25 bid, got a $30 bid, will you give me $30, big and $30 bid, you want a $30, give me $30, give me $30 bid. Give me $30 bid, and a $35, will you give me $35, make it $35, make it $35, will you give me $35 bid.
Now from the boy who went to school, a grew man who played it cool, and he came home a full-fledged auctioneer. The people came from miles around to see him make that rhythmic sound that filled their hearts with such a happy cheer. His veins went out from shore to shore, he had all he could do and more. He had to buy a plane to get around. And now his hopes in all the land has paused to give that man a hand, 'cause he's the best hillbilly auctioneer. Here he comes again. $35 bid, you got a $40 bill, when you give me 40, make it 40, make it $40, will you give me 40, give me $40 bill, get a $40 bid, and a 45, will you give me 45, make it 45, make it 45, sold that hog for a $45 bill.
Hey, well, right now, you open the gates and let them know, come boys, got to enough of it, and you ain't gonna give me fine. 5, 25, will you give me 30, make it 30, will you make it 30, will you give me 30, 5, make it 40, will you give me 40, will you give me 45, 5, make it 50, make it 50, make it 5.
He makes more noise than he takes a stand, and he hear from a really big band. He's the best art auctioneer in all the land.
staggering. They are quite staggering, aren't they? Brilliant. Well, only the best is good enough for the BBC. That's what they told me when they engaged me. Of course. Yes, and this isn't the first time I've done a show for the BBC. Oh, good gracious me, no. That was a long time ago, that was. When Long John Silver had 2 legs and an egg on his shoulder. Oh, shall I ever forget those halcyon days? They were halcyon. Halcyon, Doris Waters, John McCormack singing the Yokohama song. When Yokohama to the end of the pond. Yeah, I remember it. Oh, wonderful. And it was about that time when a young executive producer approached me and said, Williams, a word. And I had thought of a word, actually, but if I'd said it, I wouldn't be here today. Well, not looking so lovely. So he said, well, I have it on good authority that the powers that be are smiling on you. I said, they're smiling? He said, yes, they're not getting any laughs, but they are definitely smiling. He said, and that means you're teetering. I said, what are you talking about teetering? I've only had the gooseberry fruit cup. Each gooseberry was goosed individually by my own fair hands. He said, no, I mean teetering on the brink of social acceptance. All you need now is a shove in the right direction, and I'm going to give it you. I'm going to put you up for membership. I said, of what? He said, of the most influential cabal in the whole of Europe, the BBC Club. I said, oh, the BBC Club? You mean that place where showbiz celebs gather together and money flows like there's no tomorrow? He said, no, that's the Listen Grove Labour Exchange. No. The BBC Club is the cream of your media intelligentsia. You have to pass the entrance exam. I thought, hello, it's worse than the army. I remember my medical for that. My medical for the army was unbelievable. This awful man said, for heaven's sake, what a revolting body. For heaven's sake, man, pull the stomach round to the front. And I had me back to him at the time. Oh, dreadful. I'll never forget it. But I'll tell you all about the BBC Club test later, because it's time now for me to introduce you to our second guest. Somebody I first met at the Coliseum many moons ago. I don't tell you how long ago, to make you think I'm old or something. But ladies and gentlemen, a warm hand for Peter Hudson.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I was on holiday in Torquay, and a fella walked into a pub with a penguin under his arm. The man behind the counter said, what are you doing with that? He said, what? He said, that penguin. He said, well, I found him sitting on the beach in a deck chair. Trying to get that white bit brown. He said, what are you going to do with him? He said, well, I don't know. I've never found a penguin before. Well, he said, if I were you, I should take that penguin to the zoo. He said, I never thought of that. Thank you very much. 2 hours later, this same fella walked into a pub with a penguin under his arm. The fella behind the counter said, is that the same penguin I saw you with 2 hours ago? He said, yeah. He said, well, didn't you take him to the zoo like I told you to? He said, yes, I did. I did. He enjoyed it. I'm going to take him to the pictures now. Now, the one thing that the listeners and you lovely people here tonight, one thing that is in common with all of you, you all have this terrifying disease called snoring. Now, I guarantee, even for the listeners at home, they will nod and nudge and point at one another, but certainly you lovely people here tonight will do the same thing. When you recognise one another's snores, you won't recognise your own because you're asleep at the time. The common or garden snore, which starts off all snores, is the one that goes... It's true. I call that the selfish snore because the mouth doesn't open. They keep it all to themselves, don't they? All right, then let's start off with the fellas. Now, there are a lot of fellas that are known as blowers. He's the one that goes... Then you get the ladies' snore. 80% of ladies who snore like this. Then the next snorer is called the Frightener. Now, if any lady here sleeps with a Frightener, you have my sympathy. No, because they are terrifying. This is, and it's always the fellas, I'm sorry, this is the Frightener. I wasn't asleep. No, I was just resting my eyes. Now, the last one is a gem. He is called the Saturday afternoon snorer. Now, yes, there's a few heads nodding here. I'll paint the picture for you. Saturday lunchtime, ladies. Yes. It's touch and go whether he makes it to the city after a big lunch, isn't it? He makes it, gets into his favourite chair or to the city. You're out in the kitchen finishing the washing up. Yes. Saturday afternoon, what's he going to do? Watch Grandstand or World of Sport. But within 5 minutes, he's gone. There's Peter O'Sullivan giving a commentary on the Grand National with Michael O'Hare out in the country, and they're talking to themselves.
As they're coming towards the 18th fence now, it's red rum and purple silk and Lascargo together. They're coming to this fence now with red rum, Lascargo, tied cottage and purple silk. They're coming to this fence now. It's red rum, purple silk, Lascargo. They come to the 18th. There they come to the fence now. They jump it. And they're over. And it's still red rum, purple silk, Lascargo, tied cottage together. They're making their way out into the country. I can't see them from here, so I pass you over to Michael O'Hare.
And now horses coming in, now red rum and purple silk together. All these horses coming towards the chair. And they're coming towards the chair now with red rum and purple silk together. They come to the fence, they jump in. And they're over. And now they're going towards some beaches. And they're going towards beaches now with red rum and purple silk together. They're still praising together. And they're shoo. They're passing me now, so they're going to shoo. They're going to put this fence, shoo. And they're going to put this, shoo. And they're coming to this fence now, it's beaches. They come to the fence now, they jump it. And they're over. Yeah. And they're going back towards the grandstand and pass you back to Peter O'Sullivan.
One more fence to jump. Just one more fence to jump. Red rum on his own, looking for his third national in a row. It's red rum coming to this fence. It's red rum coming to this fence all on his own now. It's red rum comes to the last fence now, the national. He jumps it.
He's over.
He's over. His jockey jumps it. He's over. And again, as he passed the post, it's Charlie's aunt first, how's your father second, and Fat Joe third.
But he's still asleep, isn't he? He hasn't seen any of this, has he? No. What happens, ladies? You come out of the kitchen, you finish the washing up, you see that he's asleep. Ladies, you know that on Saturday afternoon on BBC Two, there's a film. You tiptoe over to the set, don't you? You change the channel over.
Yeah, I was watching that.
Good, isn't he? Have to get on to the bookings, people. Yes, well, I was telling you about my entrance examination for the BBC Club, wasn't I? Well, this BBC producer was putting me up. He said he fixed the appointment. I said, I suppose I have to appear before the committee. He said, no, one man speaks for all. He's a terrible big mouth. And he'll see you on Friday. I suggest you get yourself a decent pair of trousers, too, before you go. Those pyjama bottoms you're wearing are a disgrace. I said, no, they're not for a man, they're for a lady. So why are you wearing them? I said, I'm breaking them in for this Griselda Clotworthy. He said, they look a bit loose. I said, so is Griselda Clotworthy. Oh, banana. Anyway, I finished up being very smart and went for this interview with this big mouth at the BBC club. Now, it only remains for you to pass the witty repartee test. Can you think of anything witty? I said, oh, yes, of course. What did the toothpaste say to the toothbrush? And he said, I don't know. What did the toothpaste say to the toothbrush? And I said, squeeze my bottom and I'll meet you outside the tube. Well, he fell about. He absolutely fell about. And he said, well, you're an original. And largely because of that success, I have been prevailed upon to sing tonight for you in the persona of Rambling Sid. So I've been digging in my gander bag and I've come up with a lugubrious tale which tells of a young swain beneath his loved one's balcony. He's a very small swain, but she's got a very low bearer. It's the prevailing winds, you see. And it goes after this fashion. Oh, will you love me, Mary-O, when my buttocks be bending low, when my orbs grow dim and my splod is white, and my cord wangle makes an ugly sight, and my buttocks be bended low, my buttocks be low. And she answers to him, you ask me if I love you, oh, when your buttocks be bending low, when your orbs grow dim and your splod is white, and your cord wangle makes an ugly sight. If I feel the way I do tonight, my answer will still be no. Yes. Thank you for that underwhelming reception, and it's now my great pleasure to introduce you to a real singer. A warm hand, ladies and gentlemen, for Miss Barbara J.
Now I would like to bring out from the orchestra my husband, Tommy Whitwell, with his saxophone. We are now going to give you our rendering of Them, Their Eyes. I fell in love with you the first time I looked into them, their eyes. You have a certain little cute way of flirting with them, their eyes. You make me feel so happy. You make me feel so blue. No falling, I'm stalling in a great big way for you. My heart is jumping, you sure started something with them, their eyes. You better look out, little brown eyes, if you're wise. They sparkle, they bubble, I'm gonna get you in a whole lot of trouble. You're overworking them, there's danger lurking in them, their eyes. The first time I looked into them, their eyes. You have a certain little cute way of flirting with them, their eyes. They make me feel so happy. They make me feel so blue. No falling, I'm stalling in a great big way for you. My heart is jumping, you sure started something with them, their eyes. gonna get you in a whole lot of trouble, baby. Them their eyes.
Barbara J. and Tommy Whittle. Well, I've had a shock, I can tell you. I found the most extraordinary communication in the dressing room addressed to me. It said, as from the termination of this performance, you're classified as redundant. Your services are no longer required. See Section 4 of the Factories Act. Factories Act? I've never read it, let alone acted it. I showed it to the producer. I said, hey, did you know about this? He said, of course I know. They're laying you off. I said, I've never been laid on, let alone off. Like to see anyone take advantage of me. I should love it. Anyway, I said, sacking me as a disgrace. What about your promises? You said I had a rosy future. You said they'd be coming up to my door and making me a very nice proposition. You had me going. I got all worked up. I was crying. I was hysterical. He bashed me right across the face. It was terrible. He said, pull yourself together. Remember where you are. The corporation. Crying and snivelling like that. Do you want to be known as a sissy? I said, oh, no. No. He said, well, put away that scented handkerchief, and listen to me. There is something coming up for you, and here's, yes, you remember. He said, here's a hint. The costume is scarlet slashed with ermine. I said, scarlet slashed with ermine. Oh, say no more. I knew it was a judge. I love playing judge. I love all that. Prisoner at the bar. You are accused. And he said, hang on, it's not a judge. No, it's Father Christmas up the stairs. I said, what? He said, Father Christmas, you'll be at the entrance of the fairy grotto. I'm sure you'll do it with grace and aplomb. I wouldn't do it with Grace Darling. I said, let alone aplomb. I left in high dudgeon and a flurry of talcum powder, which was just as well. Just as well, because I had to get back here to introduce, for their final number, ladies and gentlemen, Cantabile.
Got a little rhythm, a rhythm, a rhythm, that pitter-pats through my brain, so that the system that aches and distant, when it'll drive me insane, comes in the morning without any warning, and hangs around all day. I'll have to sneak up to it someday and speak up to it. I hope it listens when I say, fascinating rhythm, you got me on the go. Fascinating rhythm, I'm all equipped for. What a mess you're making, the neighbors want to know why I'm always shaking just like a flip. Oh, each morning I get up with a song, start a hopping, never stopping, to find at night no work has been done. I know that once you didn't matter, but now you're doing wrong when you start to patter and so unhappy. Won't you take a day off, decide to run along somewhere far away off and make it snappy? Oh, fascinating rhythm, oh, won't you stop picking on me? Got a rhythm, a rhythm, a rhythm, a bit of pass through my brain. So don't persist if the days are distant when it'll drive me insane. And hangs around all day. I have to sneak up to it someday and speak up to it. I hope it listens when I say, fascinating rhythm, you got me on the go. Fascinating rhythm, I'm all a quiver. What a mess you're making, the neighbors want to know why I'm always shaking just like a flivver. Each morning I get up with a song, start humping, never slumping, to find at night the work has been done. I know that once it didn't matter, but now you're doing wrong when you start to patter. I'm so unhappy. Won't you take a day off? Decide to run along somewhere far away off and make it snappy. Oh, how I long to be the man I used to be. Fascinating rhythm, oh, won't you stop picking on me? Got a rhythm, a rhythm, a rhythm, got a rhythm, a rhythm, a rhythm, and it'll drive me insane.
Thank you, Cantabile, and that, I'm afraid, brings us to the end of the show, and a timely quatrain from Headley Stacknich, the Pontefract panel beater and bird fancier. A musician who's doing two jobs at a time, as well as one in the middle, and never paying the taxman a dime, is probably on the fiddle. Thank you very much indeed.
Kenneth Williams Cabaret starred Kenneth Williams. His guests were Cantabile, Peter Hudson, Barbara J. and Tommy Whittle. Music from the Burt Rhodes Orchestra. The script was by Kenneth Williams, and the show was produced by Jonathan James Moore.
We present Kenneth Williams' Playhouse, a series of programs which have one thing in common. Their star is Kenneth Williams. This week's Playhouse presentation also features Gordon Clyde, John Baddeley and Miriam Margulies in The Analysis by Leslie Randall. Over now to the lecture hall, where the audience is being addressed by Professor Helmut Weishaupt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Or should I perhaps say colleagues? Well, as you know, tonight we are beginning an analysis of a subject. An unusual analysis because you will be here, present throughout, able to listen, observe, and even comment. Unique opportunity for us all. Of course, we are very fortunate in having found a subject willing to submit to such a public examination. It wasn't easy to find one, you know. He had to be a complete extrovert, a flamboyant, an exhibitionist. Would you bring in Mr. Williams, please?
Oh, thank you. Thank you, yes, in here, right, yes, nice. Very kind.
Good evening, Mr. Williams.
Never mind the good evening, who's this lot?
I beg your pardon?
So you should, mate. Look, I'm as willing as anyone to do a free show for a deserving cause. You only have to ask. Everyone knows if I'm free, I'm willing. I've always said that. If I'm free, I'm willing. But this is a lumber.
I don't understand.
You don't? You've got the nerve to lure me along here for a private chat. No sooner do I succumb, you've got the tickets printed and the house full notice up and all these people flocking along for a quick flash of the Kenneth. Well, that's all they're going to get, a quick flash and off. I'm very sorry, ladies and gentlemen, very sorry, but you see, I didn't come prepared. We artists can't turn it on just like that, you know. No. Got to get your adrenaline flowing, you know. Mine isn't halfway up my arm, even. No. Come along somewhere with the names in lights and you shall have it all. Well, as much as you can cope with, anyway. But not here. No, I haven't even got my music, you see.
We don't want you to sing.
Why not?
Well, perhaps another time.
Have you heard me sing?
Never.
Well, somebody's been talking. Listen, I'll have you know that when I sang Pedro the Fisherman, the price of haddock rocketed. There was a queue at Billingsgate from morn till eve. I got letters from musicians, but I took no notice. I can recognise jealousy. A voice coach from the Royal Opera House got onto me. Wanted to know how I produced my vocal effects. I told him he was astounded. Astounded. He said when he tried it, he couldn't walk for a week. And he's a professional. Look, is anybody here that can do the basking? Pedro the Pedro the Fisherman was all. Anyone here can do the basking? Can you try it?
Yes,
you
Mr.
can.
Williams.
Oh, good. Well, come on. No. Pedro the Fisherman was always whistling.
Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams, perhaps if we could clear up the misunderstanding.
Yes, right after the song. And in the evening...
Mr. Williams! Mr. Williams, please, you are not here to give a performance.
Oh, not a show?
No.
Oh, I do feel a fool. Oh, I'm very sorry about that. Well, I won't do the song then, no. I'll just say, it gives me great pleasure to declare this sailor's home well and truly open. And I hope...
It is not a sailor's home.
Well, here.
What?
It's not an advert.
Advert?
Yes, I don't do those for nothing, you know. There's money in them, mate. If I was to go on the box and tell them what the little doggies like best, I want paying. They're worth a mint, those firms, they are. Everybody buys the stuff. A landlady I had once in Burnley, beside her dustbin on a Friday, I see 6 empty tins of dog food. She hadn't even got a dog. A lot of stews, though. Oh, they didn't mind. The lodgers didn't mind. They were sitting around the table after every meal, smiling and wagging their tails. You know, for 4 weeks after I stayed there, it was all I could do to get past the lamppost.
Mr. Williams! Mr. Williams, please!
I slipped the lead, you see.
You are here to be analysed.
I'm here to be what, dear?
Analysed.
Oh, I don't know about that. No.
But you agreed.
Never.
But you did. You did.
What are you talking about? I never agreed, did I?
He did, ladies and gentlemen. He did. I promise you, he did. Well, you did. Yes, you did. You know you did. You did.
All right.
You did.
You need to get your knickers.
You promised.
Don't get your knickers in a twist. Yes, you'll do yourself a mischief carrying on like that. Calmness, control, let the waves waft over you.
Well, you did.
Very well, then. Right. All right, then. How long will it take?
About 5 years.
Oh, well, I suppose I can manage that. I pretty well put aside the whole evening anyway, so I suppose I could stretch it out to... 5 years? Did you say years? Years?
Well, that's correct.
A long kind. The ones with months in them?
Yeah.
You've blown a fuse, dear. You'd better go somewhere and loosen your braces. The blood's not getting to your head.
5 years is the usual time. A full analysis can't be rash.
Well, perhaps we could skip the full one, do the potted version. Not that I'm in a hurry, mind, but I don't think I could sit still for 5 years. No. Well, I'm sure I couldn't.
No, my goodness, no.
Oh, yes, I would, I know me.
Not 5 years continuously. No, just 1 visit a week, that's all.
Oh, I see. Once a week for 5 years.
Well, that's right. Although you may not realize it, your personality is unique.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
But it is. There is only one in the entire world, and you are it.
Oh, no. There's quite a few around. If you know where to look.
No. Only one of you. The complete you. You are unique.
Oh, thank you very much. I won't argue.
And what is it that makes the unique you? That is what we have to find out.
Well, of course. It's a combination. Looks and talent. And, of course, that indefinable, endearing warmth. I'd say that was about right, wouldn't you, ladies and gentlemen? What? Wake up, dear! Charming, but it was only a suggestion.
No, we are in agreement, I assure you.
Well, I don't know about that one in the third row. Look at her, she gave me a very jaundiced look. yellow, she might be melting the punch.
Mr. Williams, it is because of your complex nature that we need to take so much time.
Yes, well.
Your particular development of brain means we must go slowly.
Look, I've got some O-levels, you know.
And it's how you got them that we had to find out.
No, that's silly. There's no point in digging up the past. I mean, what's it matter how I got the O-levels? I mean, why ruin a good man's career? I mean, who cares how I got them? I mean, if you're going to make a fuss, I'll give them back. I mean, it's not as though it was the OBE.
Do you have the OBE?
No, and I'll tell you for why. One little joke I did about Harold, that's all. And he put the boot in.
Harold?
Yes.
Well, Harold who?
No! Harold. Oh, he'd have your head off for that, Harold. He goes there, wouldn't he? The husband of our poet laureate S. Mrs. Wilson. That's Harold, the one with the pipe and the funny Mac, you know. Goes off the silly aisles all the time. I merely mentioned that was the ideal place for him. That's all I done. And me OB went straight off her list.
Hers?
Hers, of course hers. Don't think he does it, do you?
He
with the polo and the hand in the pocket, him. No, she does all that, all the ordering. 3 dozen assorted knighthoods, 6 pairs of peers, a gross of mixed medals. Yes, she takes care of all that. I'd have been there, among that lot, I'd have been there about 3 down from Sir Cecil, if he hadn't put his spoke in.
Well, no, Mr. Williams, if we can, please proceed.
Oh, yes, certainly. Well, good night, ladies and gentlemen. I must be off now.
No.
What?
We stay.
Well, make up your mind. Are we doing this analysis or not?
Oh, definitely yes. Yes, I'm most excited. But we do it here.
In front of everybody?
Oh, yes.
No wonder you're excited. Well, I'm very sorry to disappoint you.
You agreed.
Never.
You did.
No, I didn't.
You did when I first spoke to you about it.
Oh.
It was a cornerstone of our discussion. Public analysis. You agreed to public analysis.
Yes, well, that was a definite misunderstanding. You see, I thought I was going to be, have a checkup, you know, and when you said I would have public analysis, I thought you were meaning that I would have the sample done on the private as opposed to the national health, you know.
What sample?
The sample, well, you know, when they send you behind the screen, you know. Behind the screen.
No, there'll be none of that here.
Oh.
No.
No,
come on, please, let us get on.
All right. Well, where's the couch?
No.
No couch?
No couch.
No, well, perhaps just as well. I do tend to nod off, you know. Just the drop of a hat. Well, then, what do you want me to actually do?
Just talk.
Talk? What about?
Anything at all. Off you go.
Right. Well, do you know, it's a funny thing. I mean, usually I'm a regular little chatterbox, but right at the moment I am nonplussed.
Well, don't worry.
I mean, it's extraordinary, isn't it? I mean, you know, when you go on just a minute, you know, talk for 60 seconds on toffee apples. I mean, it's jolly difficult, you know.
Mr. William!
Yeah, present.
We don't want to hear about toffee apples.
Well, I mean...
We want to hear about you. We want you to talk about you, just you. Nothing but you.
Me? Oh. Talk about me. Oh, well, I'll force myself. Blushing little violet that I am. Yes. Actually, I've been wanting to tell someone. Coming here tonight, I thought, there's an evil fairy somewhere got it in for you, Kenny. Which can't put it all down to coincidence. A series of misfortunes that would test any man's mettle. I can tell you, nearly melted mine. Well, of course, I know some of you are not going to believe it. I know some of you are going to put it down to a lot of part-worn cobblers. I am shielded by the truth. By my veracity, it's intact. And if only we could all say the same. Well, last Friday it was. Last Friday, chip night. I keep them for Fridays, you see. You know, it's something to look forward to, isn't it? Yes, but it wasn't chip night. No, it was the morning. So chip morn, I suppose you could call it. Anyway, that's when it started. My landlady, Eagle Face, came tapping on my door to coo me into wakefulness with her traditional greeting.
Are you going to get out of that bed or am I going to shove the hose under the door?
A lady of infinite charm.
Just a rising, dear. You had my last fag, you did. I beg your pardon? There was one in the packet holding up the clock. It's gone.
Maybe the clock smoked it. You see, irrepressible I am, aren't I? Bung it out the whimsy and I haven't even got my trousers on.
It was you. And you've had your fingers in the sardines again.
Kindly, lady, but our mind wanders. I beg yours.
There was 4 left in that tin. But when I went to get them for the breakfast this morning, there was only 3.5.
Well, if you insist on sardines for breakfast, 3.5 ought to be plenty.
Among 4 people, a full sardine each. That's what I was going to give them. Now, there's my Mr. Herbert going to work on half a sardine. It's not right. It's not right.
Well, of course, I couldn't stand that. I never had a sardine. I threw the door open and confronted her.
Oh, my God!
Well, I'm impulsive, you see. Other people might hesitate or cogitate or wait until they got their trousers on before opening the door.
Oh, my God!
But not me. When I think of doing a thing, I do it.
Oh, my God!
Which is why, at 10 o'clock that same morning, I was in the public library looking up the furnished rooms.
You moved out.
Well, I wasn't staying there after that. I could stand the...
Oh, my God!
But what I could not tolerate was the...
So that's what happened to the sardines!
Yes, I can understand you would find that distasteful.
Quite, though, Mark, you in the public library, one is not impervious to interference. Oh, no. I was just standing, leafing through a crinkled edition of the Balham Free Press, when my right ear was intruded by this voice.
Is that your parcel? That there on the floor, next to your foot, that brown thing, is that your parcel?
It was the voice of authority.
Ah, yes.
Demanding respect, and I gave it. I said to him, "Yes, sir, that is indeed my parcel, my brown paper parcel. Do you want to buy it?"
I want to know what is in it.
Well, of course you want to know what's in it. You don't want to buy a pig in the poke, do you? Perhaps you'd rather have a poke up the mush, mate. Asking people what's in their private brown paper parcels. How dare you?
Look, I am entitled to know. I am a librarian.
I don't care what sign you were born under. You keep your hands off my parcel.
What about that one?
Oh, that's very witty. It's clever of you to think it so quickly.
Actually, I thought of it afterwards. I thought of all kinds of things I could have said to him, like, "You're a librarian, well, I'm a Leo, Leo the lion. Put one finger on that parcel, I'll gnaw your hand off." Or I could have said, "You're a librarian, well, I'm an aquarian, a water carrier. Touch me parcel and I'll soak you to the skin." I thought of all kinds of devastating things after, but at the time, all I could think of was, "You're the librarian."
Well, yes, I am, and you cannot bring parcels in here. It's your lunch, isn't it? You were coming in here to leave crumbs all over our floor, weren't you?
Crumbs? 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 From my parcel? You'll get no crumbs from my parcel. Beluga caviar doesn't leave crumbs. Nor does pâté de foie avec truffe. Crumbs come from cheese sandwiches and wholemeal biscuits, the fodder of the peasantry. There's none of that in my brown paper parcel. And there wasn't. In my parcel was 2 pairs of underpants, my other shirt and 3 socks. Well, I was moving, wasn't I? Me gear.
Open it up.
What?
Come on, I haven't got all day. Open it up.
Have you taken leave of your senses? Open it up. Open it up. We're not in Russia yet, you know. Open it up, indeed.
You might have a book in there.
What? What?
One that you might have nicked.
Oh, isn't that awful? From a librarian, too. Nicked. Oh, you wonder how they get the jobs, don't you? Nicked.
Come on, give it here.
Put that down. Put that down.
Look, I want to see inside that parcel.
Only over my mutilated corpse. I could have said over me dead body, but being in a library, I thought I'd dress it up a bit, you know. Well, him saying nicked, for I'd have to give it a bit of tone. You know what I mean? Give that a tone.
Listen, now, what's this?
What?
Oh! Well, have they refused your laundry again?
Refused? Oh, my laundry has never been refused. My laundry is held up as a shining example. They queue up for it. Vans form traffic jams outside the house. Drives knee-deep in laundrymen soliciting. Give us your old pants, Kenny. You hear it daily, they're crying out.
Are they really?
More, yeah.
Well, I can tell you something. They've lost one of your socks.
Eh? What? Where are you?
At the bottom of the page. What do you think it is?
Oh, yes, that's right.
No, it could be that, couldn't it?
Yes.
No.
You!
What?
Ah! You know nothing.
Oh, no.
That's a special pair.
A special?
That's a special pair of socks. They come in threes from Fortnum & Mason's. Should one be mislaid, a spare is to hand. Or to foot, as you might say.
Really? Well, tell me, why is one a different colour?
I'm sorry. I'm not at liberty to tell you that. It's classified.
Well, you better take them out of here. You should never have brought them in here in the first place. Parcels are supposed to be left at the door. Now, here, take them.
Oh, and he shoves all me worldly goods into my arms. Iggledy-piggledy. Can you believe that iggledy-piggledy into my arms? I told him. You tore my brown paper parcel.
Well, there's not much there. You can stick them in your pockets.
Now, that did incense me. After all, I may have my little idiosyncrasies, don't we all? But I do not go into libraries to be told where I can stick things.
You can wrap them in this.
Well, you know what he gave me? The middle 2 pages of the Fish Friars Gazette. The middle 2. The idea of wrapping my intimate garments cheek by jowl with the sort of illustrations they have in there. Oh, never.
You want it or not?
Not. I wish my parcel to be restored to the condition it was in before you did your tampering.
And I want you out of here.
No, they won't get me out of here until you renew my parcel. And that was how the siege of Balham High Street began.
So you stood your ground.
Well, I had to. I told him I'd given my word.
And this is important to you, your word.
Oh, yes. They must trust you. Otherwise, it's back to paying the milkman every morning. And that's not nice, you know, putting the alarm on for 5 o'clock to catch the milkman. I've left the bottle out with a note stuck in. 1 pint gold top, please. The mortification of getting a reply requesting payment in advance. How dare they ask for that? And why do they pick on me? And cash as well, no cheques, you know. Once I gave the milkman a £1 note, he made with my name and address on the back. I've suffered, you know. I've suffered more than my share of humiliation.
You have?
I could tell you that. I'll tell you that. When the burglars down me, they left me a £5. Oh, it's been awful. Oh, I'll never buy another pair of shoes. A pair of shoes as long as I live. Last Christmas, I tell you. Last Christmas, I drew my club out. £14. £14, less the weeks I hadn't paid. Altogether come to £3.10. Yes, and I needed shoes. Well, it was either that or having my feet sold. And I was in this shop about to try one on, and this assistant come up to me and said...
Look, you're not going to put that into one of our shoes, are you?
I am not going to what?
Well, that thing that you've got growing at the end of your leg, you're not going to try and force it into one of our shoes.
That was my intention. Yes. I can be ice cold when I like.
Well, you'll have to buy it.
If it fits me, I will.
You'll have to buy it first.
Before I try it on? How will I know if it fits me? How great nit. How will I...
If you put it on and it fits, it will only be because you have applied sufficient force to distort it to the shape of your foot.
Ooh.
And that means, for all normal requirements, that shoe would then be kaput.
There is nothing abnormal about my foot.
Oh, come, sir. I mean, what about those old things going out the end there?
They are toes.
Really? What, 6 of them?
Yeah. No, of course. Here, hang on. It was 5 this morning.
Well, it appears to be 6 now.
And you know he was right. I counted twice, and each time it came out the same. I had one more toe than fingers.
How very strange.
Not a happy discovery, but only on the one foot. The other one was correct to the nearest penny. 5 exactly.
Yes, you know, you are lopsided.
And I couldn't argue. I mean, 5 on one foot, 6 on the other is lopsided. I pictured a life of constant leaning into the wind when there isn't any. And having the axe slide off and walking along with one foot off the curb to level up. And the muscular development, carrying that extra weight, the leg muscles were built on the one side only. I develop a before and after, all on the one body. Oh.
Here, it chinks.
That's what he said to me, the shoe seller.
It chinks.
Normally I'd ignore a thing like that, but I was grasping at straws, you see. A man who suddenly discovers an extra toe does. So I said to him, what chinks?
Your extra toe. Listen. I'd say that was definitely chinky.
And I couldn't argue about that either. If you gave the extra toe a prod, there was a distinct chink. Not a chink that'd bring people rushing out their houses to listen, but nevertheless, a chink. It suddenly struck me, and I started to remove the sock. The shoe seller didn't like it.
Here, now, that's enough. We'll have no stripping off in here.
It's only the sock.
Oh, no, it isn't. It was only the shoe. Now it's got to be the shoe and the sock. Now, where will it end?
Right there. I just want to remove one sock.
Oh, yes, but can you be sure? I mean, once these things get a hold of you. And just on the other side of that partition is the ladies' department.
I give you my word.
Yeah, well, that is very kind of you, but I'm not a collector. Money now, that is, of course, a different thing.
I'm only going to take off one. It's only that one that's causing the trouble. See, look, there.
Coinage?
Yes. 78.5 new pence.
Yes, that would definitely cause chinking, all right.
Yeah, my change. I put it in me sock.
Oh, yes?
Yes, you can see it. 78.5 new pence.
What, found in our shop?
And he meant it.
If it was found in our shop, sir, rightfully it is ours.
It wasn't found in your shop, it was found in my sock.
But your sock was in our shop.
But I put the money in the sock in the first place.
You had witnesses, I suppose?
Oh, of course! I never stuff money down my sock without gathering a crowd. One of the attractions of Bala, mentioned in the guidebooks it is. 11 o'clock, change of the guard, Horse Guards Parade. 11:30, stuffing of the socks, Bala Nye Street. Roll up, see him take his socks off. It's a safe on. I roll up, see him take his socks off.
Well, maybe I'll take the kids during the holidays.
This is madness. This is a shop for idiots.
Really? Well, then you better not hang around while we're stock taking.
I swept out. I told you I was impulsive. I swept.
Very understandable.
Yes, well, the implication. Other people might call it a play on words, but not me. That man had definitely implied that when they were dealing out the brains, mine came at the bottom of the pack.
It's only one man's opinion.
But it's so untrue. I'm one of the brightest. Go on, test me.
No, not just now.
Well, anybody here, any one of you ladies, any question you like, just call it out and you will have an answer. Go on, you, sir, the fifth row, any question. Ask me a question.
Yes, what is the capital of Antigua?
About £4.10. Anybody else? Anyone? You see, the brain is nimble, isn't it?
Oh, definitely, yes.
Yeah, nothing banging about loose up there. Well, you'd know, wouldn't you?
Yes, that is true.
Oh, you're a specialist. I mean, you're dealing with them all the time. I mean, you'd know they couldn't fool you, could they? One look and you could tell if anyone was all there or not, couldn't you?
Well, I have an idea, yes, indeed.
Well, I haven't been getting my proper sleep, you see, that's my trouble. You have to allow for that. It makes me a bit twitchy. I get twitches, you see. But apart from that, I mean, you wouldn't say that and there was anything wrong. I mean, I'm all right.
Well, as a matter of fact...
Yes, I mean, there's a lot... Well, there's worse than me, you know.
Yes, of course.
Worse. Yes, no, a little rest. That's all I need. I've got to the funny age.
Well, of course. Well, Mr. Williams, yes, we've done enough for today. I found it most edifying.
Oh, good.
Most valuable opening session.
Well, it's the strain of my profession. You know what I mean? It comes out in different people in different ways.
Yes, of course.
Well,
perhaps next.
I mean, I was an ugly sister in pantomime. Ugly sister, me, ask yourself, ugly. Me! Ludicrous. And my going home in the costume. Miss Williams, I told the sergeant in the police station, it was resolve over work. I was teaching on high heels, and I had the crinoline on, back to front, but it didn't mean a thing because I wasn't really meaning, you know what I mean? My mind was gone. I didn't know.
Next week.
And that time at the holiday camp, you know what I mean? I didn't do it. It was really me.
Our time is up, Mr. Williams.
I just wanted to tell you. I must tell you.
Another time. Good night, Mr. Williams.
This week's Kenneth Williams Playhouse presentation was The Analysis by Leslie Randall, starring Kenneth Williams, with Gordon Clyde as the analyst, John Baddeley as the librarian and shop assistant, and Miriam Margulies as Eagleface. The programme was produced by Simon Brett.
present Kenneth Williams' Playhouse, a series of programmes which have one thing in common. Their star is Kenneth Williams. This week's Playhouse presentation also stars Bill Simpson, with John Baddeley, John Graham and David Wood in The Lying Scotsman by Miles Kington and Alan Marion Davis.
The train now standing at platform 6 is the 22:30 Intercity Night Sleeper to Glasgow Central, stopping at Crewe, Preston, Carlisle, Moffat, Coatbridge and Glasgow Central.
Excuse me, steward.
Yes, sir?
Is this the 22:30 Intercity Night Sleeper?
Yes, sir.
To Glasgow Central?
That is right, sir.
Stopping at Crewe, Preston, Carlisle, Moffat and Coatbridge?
Yes, quite correct.
And Glasgow Central?
Yes, right again, sir. What, you train spotting, sir?
No, steward, certainly not. I've booked a berth on this train. Look, here's my, what do you call it? Birth certificate.
Yes, reservations, sir.
Yes, that's the ticket.
No, sir, the other thing's the ticket.
Oh.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Yes, just see if you've got the right coach.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. You'll be, Mr. Palfrey, then.
How did you know that?
Well, I've got your name on the passenger list here, sir.
Where did you get that from?
Well, but they give it me when the trains leave, didn't they?
Just a moment, steward. Who exactly are they?
Look, just a minute, sir. What are all these questions
It
for?
happens to be my business to leave no stone unturned to get the facts and establish the truth at all costs. Delve. That's what I do. Delve. Delve and ferret. Ferret. Have you got the right time?
Oh, we've got plenty of time, sir. Half an hour at least till the train goes. If you give me your bags, I will show you to your cabin.
Ah, yes, very good of you. Thank you very much.
There you are, then, sir. There's your room for the night. Basin over there.
Yeah.
Ventilator up here. And eating over there. Turn on to boil. Turn over to freeze.
Thank you. What's this control for here? This one here?
That one there, sir. That opens the door, sir. We call that a knob, sir.
Oh, I see. And what happens if I pull this cord here?
Yes, my watch jumps out of my waistcoat pocket, sir. Any other questions?
Just one minor trivial query. Where do I sleep?
Oh, well, I'm glad you asked me that, sir. Now, you see that long, low shelf near the ceiling?
Yes.
That is your bunk, sir.
You're joking.
Yes, sir, exactly, sir. Yes, well, I must go and be ready for the other passengers now, sir.
All right.
If you should need me, I'll be in the little cubby hole at the end of the corridor all night.
Good night, steward.
Good night, sir.
I better get unpacked, I suppose. First, now, pyjamas, socks, tartan underwear, sensible shoes, silly shoes, Macintosh, McLean's, McCufflinks, trench coat, magnifying glass, fingerprint powder, and my bedtime book, Lord Hill's own life story. Hugh Green was my valet.
By the way, sir.
Yes, steward, what is it?
Yes, I've been thinking about your profession, sir.
Why?
And I was reading the evening newspaper here, and it did occur to me... Well, just listen to this story. Big bank raid in London today. Hold-up man flees with £250,000. High Holborn this afternoon. Armed raid. Watch being kept on all routes out of London. Police wish to interview man with Scottish accent. Do you see what I am getting?
I understand your drift. Quite naturally, you read that and immediately assumed I must be a top yard officer in charge of the case. Checking the Glasgow route. A logical choice, I must say. But wide of the mark again, I'm afraid.
Actually, sir, I thought you were the bank robber.
Oh, yeah. Given away by my broad Scottish accent, I suppose. Does that look like $250,000 in my suitcase?
No, sir, it looks more like tartan underwear to me, sir. But it could be in that large package over there that you haven't opened. I mean, it's big and bulky enough.
Think so? Have a look for yourself. Whip off the cover. Go on, go ahead.
I will.
Hello?
You, what the... It's a flaming parrot. Oh, I get it now. I know. You're what's his name, aren't you? You're that David Attenborough.
Look, if I were David Attenborough, I wouldn't be mucking around with a parrot on the Glasgow night train, would I? Be hacking my way through the Borneo jungle, looking for the legendary lost tribe of TV cameramen. The nearest I'll get to adventure tonight is the death-defying ascent to my bivouac in the sky.
29,002.
What's he say, sir? What's that?
The height of Everest. He's very good at figures. Come on, lad, it's getting near bedtime. I'll just pop you down here for the night.
Yeah, no, you can't do that, sir. No, that's the lower bunk. You see, you've got to think about the other gentleman.
Other? gentlemen.
Yes, sir, your fellow passenger.
You mean British Rail are forcing me to spend the night with a complete and total stranger?
Now, only as far as Watford, sir.
What do you mean, only as far as Watford?
Right, so by the time you get to Watford, you'll feel you've known each other for years.
Really?
Yeah, you'll be showing each other photos of the kiddies.
I haven't got any kiddies.
Well, never mind, sir, you borrow mine. I always carry a spare set. Photos, I mean.
Oh.
There you are, have a look at that. That's my youngest, that is Frida.
Very nice. Very grown up, too. Very grown up.
What up? Oh, I'm sorry, so that's the wrong set of photos.
This is all beside the point. If I've got to share my cabin, you might at least tell me this fellow's name. It could be anyone. I mean, who is it?
According to my list, sir, he is Sir Henry Carmichael, GFAQ.
Sir Henry GFAQ?
Yes, good for a quid, sir. Right, good night.
Good night. Sir Henry Carmichael, eh? Better make a good impression if we're going to hit it off. Dignified, but full of charm. That's the thing. Oh, I wish I was on a real train like the Trans-Siberian Express. You get some peace and quiet there. Oh, the huge forests and the romantic baying of the wolves waiting for the guard to fall off. Ah, the little wayside stations where we'd stop for refreshment with samovars on the platform and samovars staying in our seats. And with any luck, the little Russian peasant girl who'd come into my compartment by mistake and say...
Sir Henry Carmichael, CBE, can I come in?
Oh, yes, please do. Sorry about that.
Can you help me in with this damn great suitcase here?
Oh, my word. Hey, that's heavy. What's got in there? The crown jewel?
Oh, I wish it was, laddie. No, it's just a lot of papers, documents, that sort of thing. Very boring stuff. I wonder if it'll go under the bed. Oh, no such luck. Well, where can I leave the damn thing?
Well, outside, in the corridor.
Oh, no, I couldn't possibly. I must keep my eye on it.
I thought you said it was full of boring bits of paper.
No, well, so it is, laddie, so it is. Oh, once you've seen one, you've seen them all. Mind you, they're extremely valuable to me. I'll just put the case against the wall here.
I haven't introduced myself yet. Palfrey is the name.
Oh, I'm pleased to meet you.
How's it doing?
I think you deserve a drink after all that hard work.
Thank you.
If you look in the briefcase over there, you'll find a bottle of whiskey. I'll just get the glasses out of the cover. Not that case!
Sorry.
The briefcase.
Oh, yes, I see. Here you are. One bottle of scotch.
Good. There you are.
Thank you.
Goodness, I need this.
I had a busy day.
Well, in a manner of speaking, yes. I've been chasing around Holborn all day trying to get away from the office.
Ah. Well, here's to crime.
What? Oh, yes, of course. Down the hatch.
Up yours.
What was that you said just now, Palfrey?
Well, here's to crime. As far as I can recall, one of those silly phrases. I'm sorry if it offended you.
I don't know. No, it's just that for a wee minute I thought you said something like...
Up yours.
You did see it then. Now, listen, Palfrey, I think that's a wee bit...
No, I understand now. It wasn't me. It was my parrot.
Your parrot?
Yes. You look under this cloth. Yeah, I'll introduce you. Sir Henry, my parrot. Parrot Sir Henry. Say hello to Sir Henry. Come on. Hello, sir. Who's a pretty knight, then?
Get lost!
Dear, you must forgive him. He's had a hard day. He's usually fast asleep by 9:30.
9:30!
Ah, now there, see? If there's one thing he can do, it's remember numbers. Between you and me, he's a bit of a dead loss conversationally, but he's got a great head for figures.
Really?
Phone numbers, birthdays, VAT, terrific. He knows the height of Everest.
29,002.
Here you are. The width of the channel.
40.
No, the channel isn't 40 miles across. It's 29.
40 kilometres, Sir Henry. This is Britain's first metric parrot, this is. So, Sir Henry, you're something big in the city, are you?
What? Oh, yes, you could say that. Yes, I do quite a lot in banking, sir.
Banking?
Looking after cash flow, that sort of thing. Keeping money on the move.
I wonder if it's a firm I've heard of.
Oh, I shouldn't think so, laddie. No, it's just a wee company called Consolidated Hold-Ups. I mean holding. But you ask an awful lot of questions,
You have to do my job. You're never off duty, always observing, deducing, working things out.
What do you do, then?
That's confidential, I'm afraid. I wish I could divulge, but I can't.
My dear Palfrey, I mean, if you're in a secret line of business, then I have not the slightest intention of proving into it. Cheers.
Oh, well, since you're obviously a man to be trusted, I don't mind telling you what it is. I am a private detective. Here. What? Here, you all right? You all right?
Yes. Oh, yes, it's only that for one awful moment I thought you said you were a private detective.
Yes, I did. Well, what's so awful about that?
Nothing. It's only that I imagine a private detective to be, dressed more unobtrusively.
Oh, you mustn't be deceived by my kilt and dark glasses. That's just a disguise. Look, here's my card.
Thanks. Matthews and Palfrey, funeral directors. I don't get it.
Oh, that's just the front, Sir Henry. Look at the back.
Matthews and Palfrey, private investigators. Oh, I see. What sort of thing do you specialize in? A fraud? Embezzlement? A money matter?
Oh, no.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I mean, it's a mucky sort of business.
Not that I wouldn't like to, but my father wouldn't let me.
Your father?
Yes, he's the head of the firm. He's Palfrey.
Well, who's Matthews?
That's Matthews.
What, the parrot?
Yes. It's a long story. I never really wanted to go into detection at all, but my father insisted I join the family firm. I've been his divorce specialist ever since.
Divorce? Hey, divorce. And you're on a case at the moment?
That I cannot divulge. All I can reveal about my present journey is that I'm going to see my auntie in Glasgow.
Is she having trouble with her marriage?
You could say that. She's a widow. I don't suppose by any chance that your marriage is on the rocks?
No. I am very much in love with my wife.
Oh.
Not that we ever talk about it, of course.
No, I can't be helped. No. Any of your friends or relatives perhaps need a helping hand to break up their marriage? No.
Let me think. No. There's Gerald, of course. Oh, no, he changed sex. It's a pity about that. He was a nice chap, Geraldine.
Oh, well, if you do, you can always get in touch with me. Here's my card.
Oh, thanks. Matthews and Palfrey, builders merchants.
That's the back. Look at the front.
Matthews and Palfrey, expert divorce advice from our own correspondent.
Yeah, that's me. Of course, it's not really me, if you know what I mean. What I dream of is solving a really big criminal case, so my father has to release me from divorce work. And that's why I'm always observing and asking questions. One day I'll stumble across something really big and be the only one to spot the vital clue. Then he'll have to promote me above the parrot. Oh, for instance, I've been observing you ever since you came in without you noticing it, and you'll be surprised at the things I've worked out.
Such as?
Well, you're an important Scottish businessman. You work in London, but you're going back to Glasgow for the weekend. Your wife isn't with you, but you're on good terms with her. You said so yourself. So you're probably going to a men-only affair. I couldn't help noticing there was a lot more whiskey in that case. It's a men-only drinking affair. You're not the football-going type, so there's only one theory that covers all those facts.
Yes?
You're off to your Scottish regimental annual reunion.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely correct.
Well, which regiment is it? As a matter of interest, just to complete my theory.
Well, it's the Heart of Midlothian Celtic Rangers. By the way, Palfrey, we ought to fix with that steward fellow what time he brings us tea and biscuits in the morning. Now, why don't you slip along and tell him? 7 a.m.
Oh, all right, now. I'll see you in a few minutes.
That's what you think, laddie. I'm getting out of here this very minute. Just my luck landing in the same compartment as a detective. Thank God he's stupid. I'll just check the case first. Let's check the case, see if it's all there. One pair of pajamas. One new toothbrush. 50,000 brand new fibres. Oh, look at them, every one a picture. Duke of Wellington, if I'm not mistaken. Everyone's in its own little number. 50D 930358. Oh, that's poetry, that is. 50D 930358, and so on for another 50,000. Right, now let's go.
What kind of biscuit?
What?
What kind of biscuit do you want with tea in the morning, he says. There's ginger nut shortbread or rich buttered Osborne's.
Oh, shortbread will do fine, thanks.
Oh, of course, I should have known. Shortbread for a Scotsman.
That's right, very good. Hoots! The new... Stupid ninny. Now away we go.
50D 930358. 30358.
Who said that?
50D 930358.
Oh, my God, it's a parrot. He's got the serial number.
50D 930358.
Right, all right, parrot, you've just signed your death warrant, parrot. I don't like hurting animals, but I don't mind knocking off the senior partner in a detective agency. All right, Matthews, this is it. You're going to meet the great ornithologist in the sky. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Oh! Ah, you damn man-eating vulture! I've taken a great chunk out of my finger. Right. If it's a fight you're after, put your wings up.
There you are, Henry. I do hope he hasn't been bothering you.
Well, he does seem to be a little bit upset.
You haven't been asking him difficult questions, have you? I've known him get quite hysterical when he couldn't work out a bit of long division. You see, it's really just memorising things he's best at, isn't it, Matthews?
50D 930358.
That's a new one on me. You've been teaching him something?
No, it's my phone number.
Oh, it's nice. He can ring you up any time now. Well, it really is time for his bed. If you don't get his full beauty sleep, he gets terribly tired, spends all day just hanging from his perch. There. Night-night.
Yes, talking of night-night, Sir Henry, don't you think we ought to turn in ourselves?
I'm not turning myself in. Oh, yes. Yes, I think you're quite right. You wouldn't like me to take Matthews for a walk before we go to bed. Just out for a bit of fresh air.
No, I don't think so.
What a shame.
Yes, well, I think I'll take the top bunk now. Now it's time for me to do what I do every night.
What's that?
Quite simple. Get undressed, pyjamas on, jump into bed, read my book, lights off, head down. Lights on again, jump out of bed, brush teeth and back to bed again.
Palfrey, are you asleep? Good. Oh, Matthews, I've got a lovely wee surprise for you. I've decided to spare your life. In fact, I'm going to give you your freedom. Now, when I open your cage door, you'll find yourself facing an open window. Now, what I want you to do is fly through it. Now, here you go, off with you, and keep your big beak shut. Aye, good riddance. Oh, excuse me, sir. Oh, Stuart. I'll be in Glasgow already. You just put the tea and the biscuits down over there.
What? No, sir. Not quite in Glasgow yet, sir.
Oh, Carlisle, perhaps?
Not exactly.
Crewe?
Well, Euston, actually, sir. Yes, Euston, London. Train will be leaving in about 5 minutes.
You woke me up to tell me that.
No, sir. As a matter of fact, I have got a police officer with me, and he would like...
What? Tell him to go away. Tell him we're asleep. Tell him we don't want any today, thank you. Tell him we're full up. There's no room left. Tell him anything, but get rid of him.
No, sir, he doesn't want you, sir. It's Mr. Palfrey he's after.
Oh, I see. Well, in that case, where are your manners? Don't leave him standing in the drafty corridor. Bring him in.
Certainly, sir. Which one of you two gentlemen is Mr. Palfrey, please?
He's in the upper bunk, fast asleep.
I see. And you are?
I'm in the lower bunk, wide awake.
Yes, so I see, sir. And your name?
Sir Henry Carmichael, CBE.
Oh, I'm sorry to disturb you, Sir Henry. Mr. Palfrey. Mr. Palfrey!
What's happened?
Sergeant Butler, British Rail Police, sir.
What?
I'd like your help, if you don't mind.
Oh, it's happened at last. I knew you'd see the light sooner or later and come to me for help. They've sent for me to help them out. Baffled, puzzled, helpless. You confessed yourselves beaten when suddenly someone came along and said, let's send for Palfrey.
Palfrey?
Yeah, Palfrey. Matthews and Palfrey. I think I've got a card here under my pillow. There you are. Now, just give me the facts of the case as you know them and leave the rest to me.
There's nothing much to say, really, sir. It's just that we think this parrot belongs to you.
What you doing with my parrot?
We found it on the station, having a right old argument with an I-speak-your-weight machine. Someone told us they'd seen it coming out of a window from this train, and the steward traced it back here.
But how did he get out of his... Oh, Matthews, what have you been up to?
No harm done, sir. Just pop him back in his cage and this time make sure the door's fastened properly, eh? Because we don't really have the time to chase round after escaped parrots when we're meant to be keeping our eyes open for a bank robber on the run.
Oh, yes, I've read about him. Haven't you got him yet, then?
No, not yet, no. Well, we'll get him sooner or later. There's always something that gives them away. Some little slip, some detail they forget, and we'll be onto him like a flash.
50D 9303.
Good night, officer.
Good night, sir.
Good night, Sergeant. Remember, I'll be here if you ever need me. Well, somewhere between here and Glasgow. If I should catch the bank robber, I'll give you a ring.
Yeah, you do that, sir. Good night.
50D 9303 58.
And good night to you, little parrot. Oh, he does love his numbers, doesn't he?
Oh, yes. He can't wait for you to get home in the evening and switch on Open University.
Good night, then.
Good night.
What did that parrot say just now?
66, all the sixes.
No, before that.
50D 9303 58.
That's it. That's a very familiar number, that is. Of course, it's one of the fivers.
It's what? What do you mean?
It's the opening serial number of one of those notes from Oban. I must ask everyone to stay where they are while I ask a few questions. Mr. Palfrey, can you explain how your parrot is the only person outside the police force who knows the exact number of a fiver stolen in Oban this afternoon?
My dear Sergeant, are you trying to suggest that my parrot spent this afternoon in Oban walking into a bank, pointing his wing at a cashier and flying off with $250,000? You didn't, did you, Matthews? No, of course not. For one thing, he doesn't need the money. I give him 50p every week. He spends any of it, do you? No. For another thing, he has the perfect alibi. He and I spent all this afternoon watching his favourite film on television.
And which film was that, sir?
The History of Mr. Polly.
I don't go so far as to say I think the parrot did the job, sir. All I'm saying is this. He knew the serial number. Now, to me, that means one of three things. Either he did it, or you did it, or I'm dreaming. And I'm not dreaming. Which brings us back to you, Mr. Palfrey.
My dear Sergeant, I know a little about the law, and one thing I know is that your chances of convicting a man on the evidence of a parrot, however intelligent and well-bred, are comparatively slim. Can you imagine it? Prosecuting counsel gets up. Tell me, witness, can you identify the guilty man, someone in this court?
Don't you, mate? Oh, that's a pretty boy, pretty boy.
Thank you, no further questions. Oh, can you imagine it? Oh.
You know something about the law, do you?
I told you, I'm a private detective. I just gave you my card.
Oh, yes, sir.
I must say, I found it hard to believe when he told me he was a detective, Sergeant.
I am a detective.
There's one very easy way to settle it all, Mr. Palfrey. Let's see your suitcase, please.
If I open the case...
What?
You won't laugh.
Look, sir, I never laugh on duty. Makes my helmet fall off. Yeah! Oh, there it goes.
Well, there you are. Is it stuff full of fivers, or isn't it?
No, sir. No, I must admit it isn't. All I can see is a complete change of tartan underwear, 2 large bags of birdseed, and a small book entitled...
Never mind what the book's entitled.
Let me see, sir, if you don't mind. How to be a real detective in only 10 easy lessons. Plus 3 false moustache. So, you're not a private detective at all, sir?
Well, I'm almost... Well, I'm learning to be a private detective. Takes time, you know. After all, Holmes wasn't built in a day. Anyways, perfectly legal. There's no law against pretending to be a proper detective, is there?
Certainly
law
not, sir. No. If there was one, half the CID would be inside. Oh, oh God, there goes my helmet again. Now, I will let you off the hook, sir. You may not be much of a private detective, but you aren't much of a bank robber either. Oh, and keep that parrot on a lead, will you? Eh? Oh, mustn't laugh. Good night, all.
Well, I mean, you know, Sir Henry, about me not being a proper detective, well, wasn't true about me being a divorce specialist either. I expect you guessed. No, in fact, I've never been divorced in my life. I'm really a phony, I suppose, a see-through person. For years I've been kidding myself I could be a great detective, and what happened? I almost get arrested as a bank robber. Oh, it's hopeless, I'm all washed up. Oh, still, I'm not quite alone, I've always got Matthews. You can trust Matthews even if you can't trust me. You do believe me, don't you, Sir Henry? Yes. Oh, well, I suppose you're right. The Matthews are on my side, aren't you, Matthews? Well, of course he is. Good old Matthews. Always got word for me in my hour of need. 29002, 10 to the field.
50D930358. Why was that number familiar? Sir Henry said it was his phone number, didn't he? No, it's not. It's Sir Henry's phone. No, it's not. It's the serial number of the fivers which Matthews learnt from Sir Henry. By God, he's the... Oh, no! I'm laying 3 feet above the most wanted criminal in Britain, travelling 100 miles per hour away from the nearest policeman. It's the break I've been waiting for. Now, I've got to stop the train now. Ah, the communication cord. Where the hell is it? So dark in here. Ah. Oh, there is the ventilation. I should be able to reach out with my toe and just about... Oh, it's cold. Got it. Here we go.
James MacDonald, alias Sir Henry Carmichael, alias Mac the Knife, alias Lord Dunleavy of Soggy Hall Street. You have been found guilty on a charge of armed robbery, and I therefore sentence you to 10 years' imprisonment. I must not let this case close, however, without singling out for public recognition the witness,
thank you,
thanks to whose admirable powers of detection, observation, scrutiny, and surveillance, the prisoner was brought to trial and convicted. I cannot commend too highly the efforts of this truly remarkable Harriet.
15 years!
Yes, make it 15 years, would you, Clark? Next case, please.
Case of State versus Nigel Palfrey.
And the charge?
That Nigel Palfrey did, without due cause, pull a British rail communication cord.
No, it's a fix. I've been phrased not fair. It's not fair. I deserve the reward. Not fair. No.
This week's Kenneth Williams Playhouse presentation was The Lying Scotsman by Miles Kington and Alan Marion Davis, starring Kenneth Williams and Bill Simpson, with John Baddeley, John Graham and David Wood. The programme was produced by Simon Brett.
We present Kenneth Williams Playhouse, a series of programs which have one thing in common: their star is Kenneth Williams. This week's Playhouse presentation also stars June Whitfield with Bill Wallace and Christopher Emmett in The General by Leslie Randall.
Present, yes, speaking. Who is it? I'm here, damn it. What more do you want? Why don't you talk? All right, then, don't. Never doing that. I gave you a chance. Now you can ring till you're blue in the... I've got better things to do than answer telephones and doorbells. That's the doorbell. Well, I'm not answering that. If he wasn't on the phone, he won't be at the door either. Go away! Unless there's nobody there, in which case...
Is anyone at home?
What's that? Come on, show your face. All this damn skulking about in the bushes.
Would somebody answer the door?
There's somebody out there. Don't worry, lad. Hang on. I'll look after you. Here you are, lad. Come in. There you are. Yes. You're all right now? Don't worry, my boy.
General Williams.
Yes, who is? What? Where? Oh, me, yes. Oh, of course, yes. Thought you were talking about that other one.
Oh, who is that?
What? Where? Come out. Come on. He's seen you so good to be spotted. Where is he?
Who?
I don't know. You said it. Who is that? You said who?
No, I meant the other General Williams.
Ah, then you come to the wrong house. I mean this one. The other one is someone else, see? Totally different.
Well,
Generals all over the place.
Really?
All messes.
Well, I've come to see you.
Oh, you made a wise choice then, 'cause I'm the one that's here.
Oh, good.
Yes. I don't mind about the long hair.
Hair?
Anywhere. Had it myself when I was a lad.
Well, that's very refreshing.
Is it? Well, I'll get you another. What was it, gin and tonic? Whatever you want.
No, I meant, General, it was refreshing to hear.
A beer. Yes, well, I'll get it in a minute. Now, one thing, though.
Yes, General?
I don't think you ought to do that with your voice. Makes you seem a bit effeminate, lad. Effeminate, you know? You know what I mean?
I am effeminate.
Well, it's up to you, of course, because you want to advertise it. Some people find it difficult to accept. I mean, for my part, of course,
I am a girl. My name is Pat Westwood.
Pat? Oh, Irish, are you? Pat. You're Irish, eh?
Patricia. I'm definitely a girl.
Oh, well, if you made up your mind, of course, it'll take me a bit while to get used to it. A little time to get used to it, you know what I mean?
I work in television.
Oh, and of course you should say television. Oh, well, it's only to be expected, isn't it? And I mean, television, I mean, they're all...
General,
yes?
we want to do a program on you.
Me? No, I'm sorry. There's nothing like that about me. I'm a soldier. The only reason I never married was the exigencies of the service.
General!
Speaking.
We want to make a television program about your life.
Seamus Andrews. If he comes flopping round the curtains with that book, I'll fill his belly full of buckshot. They're not digging all that up. Listen, I was acquitted without a stain. Forget it. Shove off. Turn off your equipment. Down.
But General!
If you don't, I'll drown you in deleted expletives.
General, there is nobody there.
Ah, recorders actuated with the sound of the voice, eh? They've got a lot to answer for, those Japanese. I've fought you before. I'll fight you again.
You fought in the... General,
what?
You fought in the Far East.
So did I. Cunning enemy. But I was prepared to match nasty with nasty. That's what my old instructor used to say. And I wasn't nasty. Oh, yes. They weren't dealing with a quiet young subaltern anymore. Not a quiet young subaltern. I learned an evil or two by then. But that's war, lad. That's war. When I was first commissioned, the watchword was chivalry. Or was that the password? No, the watchword. Password was camarade. Camarade.
Isn't that German?
Well, of course, we were fighting the Germans, weren't we? It was my idea entirely. If anyone stopped you at once, you gave the password. Camarade! Then neither side shot you.
Would you tell me about the quiet young subaltern,
What?
General?
What?
You mentioned him a moment ago, the quiet young subaltern.
Yes, ma'am.
Young people. Well, your youth, you know, your early days. Who was it who first gave you the idea of going into the army?
My mummy.
Your mother? She suggested you're going into the army?
Yes, my mummy.
How strange.
Not at all. Family tradition. It's all she was thinking of. She wanted me to uphold the family honor. Her very words. The family honor.
The family honor. The tradition of the army. Surely, Kenneth, you can see that. It is the perfect career for you. What else could you possibly do?
Well, I did rather fancy flower arranging. Well, I just think one should, Mumsy, when possible, embark on a career for which one has a particular bent. And at school, everyone said I was quite definitely bent in that direction, do you see? You remember my work at the Harvest Festival? Or there's vicars coming from miles around to see what I could do with a posy of daisies. As my sheaf of corn and my bulrushes. I mean, a lot of people just didn't think it was possible.
Kenneth!
Speaking.
Kenneth, I've got you down for the army. Your father's old regiment.
Do you put me down for that, lot?
Yes.
Impossible. Anything but that. I just couldn't join them. Never.
It is a regiment with the finest tradition in the British Army.
The worst uniform in the world. The colour green with my eyes. Mother, you're out of your mind.
Your father was honoured to wear
He
it.
didn't have my colour eyes. He probably thought he looked marvellous. Maybe he did from the front. But if he'd ever seen the rear view, with his coattails buttoned back, he'd look like the curtains going up on a full moon.
Kenneth!
If it has to be something military, what about the Corps of Commissioners?
That is for old men.
Well, there's no hurry.
You report to the regimental adjutant on Monday.
Very well. I will go. I think it's a desperately mistaken solution for my problem. I don't see how one can overcome a dreadful fear of loud noises by exposing oneself to cannon fire, like stopping a nosebleed by cutting your head off. Oh, Mum! Had you thought if Williamses keep on going into the army, sooner or later, one of them might actually have to fight? Have you thought of that, Mumsy, dear? It might be me.
Now, come along, sir, come along.
along. There's a good little officer.
Oh, well, what is it? Oh, what are you doing?
I'm just trying to get you out of your little pit, sir.
Oh, it's you, Sergeant. Oh, yes, I remember.
It's time you was up
What
on
are you
your
saying?
feet.
I can't hear. Oh, this dreadful war. I've gone deaf.
Perhaps if you was to remove the ear muffs, sir.
Oh, your lips are moving, but I can't hear.
Take those puffy ear muffs off, you luggos, you dozy little officer! Sir.
Oh, yes, thank you, Sergeant. I had such a hard time dropping off last night.
I understand, sir.
Yeah.
Being at the front does tend to shove the wind up a bit.
Oh.
You'll get used to it.
Oh, no, I won't. There won't be time. I'll be on the staff. They promised. First of all, see a little action, Williams. Then we'll move you up here with us.
But you only arrived yesterday, sir. You haven't seen any action.
Of course I have. Last night, before I went to bed, I went right to the top of the steps. Somebody very nearly shot me hat off. Not a word of warning, no.
Williams!
Oh, who's that? Oh, my goodness, who said it?
I did.
Oh, it's you, Colonel. Oh, you did give me a start.
Just wanted to see if you're settled in. How is he, Sergeant?
Oh, he's first class, sir. Settling down very well.
Good. Rested, have you?
Well, no,
Fine. Need to be fit. Get out there, bring in a few jerrys, get your feet wet.
Well, I've only just got here, dear. I mean, Colonel, dear.
What?
Listen, I haven't unpacked or anything. I've got to write a few letters, having a wonderful time, wish you were here instead of me, sort of thing. And that's right to Mumsy, let her know where I am.
Don't you worry about that. If necessary, I always write to the next of kin.
Oh, that's very kind. Next of kin?
Finding your way will be no trouble. Sergeant will be right behind you, won't you, Sergeant?
Sir, yes, sir. Definitely, sir. I'll be there.
Supposing I lose you?
Oh, you won't, sir. Any time you think you're lost, sir, you just look behind, you'll find my great gleaming bayonet sticking about half an inch to your rear.
I can't see a thing. What's the point in us just wandering around in the pitch dark? I don't know where I'm going. I could be walking into a minefield or anything. I think we'd better halt a while. Oh!
Sorry, sir.
I just think
Well, I didn't know you'd stop, sir.
Couldn't you put a cork on the end of that thing? Your bayonet is making my trench coat look like another rank's dartboard.
Oh, no, sir. They never get that many in the bull.
Yeah. You've been doing it on purpose.
Never, sir. Young officer, sir, I wouldn't do that. That would be highly offensive, sir. No, sir, it's all on account of me bringing it up the rear, sir. I'm being in the rear, sir. Well, behind you.
I know very well where you're being, Sergeant. Who better? Now, come on, give me that.
What? My Betsy, my rifle?
Yes,
I couldn't,
come on.
sir. No. It's a court-martial offence, that is, sir. Soldier be without his rifle, sir. I couldn't go weapon.
I'll take my rifle and you take my pistol.
No, I do like to.
You're told. If I've got to stay in front, I'm not having that thing behind me. Give it here.
I can't do that.
Let go. You're making me cross. Let go.
No,
Let
sir.
go at once.
No, sir.
Yes, you will.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. It's how very much, I'm sure.
What happened? It went off.
Oh, yes.
You're right, Sergeant.
I'm feeling perfectly delightful, thank you very much, sir. You've only shot a hole through my foot, sir. That is all, sir.
It's your own fault. You should have let go. Can you walk?
Oh, I could probably manage about one step, sir, provided I didn't have to make it on the foot with the hole.
Oh, dear. This does sound like you lopsided. Oh, the Colonel isn't going to be pleased about this. You'll have to stop here. I'll go and get someone to carry you.
Are you sure you can find your way back,
Of
sir?
course I can. It's just straight in reverse, the way we came, isn't it? Just don't go hopping off, that's all.
I'll try and restrain myself,
I've
sir.
always said people go playing with guns, sooner or later someone's going to get hurt. It's not funny and it's not clever. Shan't be long.
Wir haben eine gute Vorstellung, nicht wahr?
Jawohl, Hans. Die Sektor ist sehr gut.
Gut, nein, das ist nicht möglich, aber der Sektor ist nicht malig stille.
Ja. Stille Sektor, stille Nacht.
Ja, sehr stille der Nacht.
Ja.
Stille Nacht, heilige Nacht, alles schlaft.
It's all right, Taffy. It's only me.
Was ist los?
Yes, I was lost, as matter of fact. Trying to find my own way back to the sector. Right, it's only arrived yesterday. I haven't really got my bearings yet. And I heard your voices. Marvellous, you Welsh sing anywhere.
Er ist ein Engländer.
Of course I am. You from the valleys or something. Don't tell me you only speak Welsh. Oh, well, never mind. Look, I've got this sergeant, and he's been shot.
Shot?
Yes, with a gun, you know. Bang, bang, a gun like this one.
Don't leave a gun.
No. The matter with you? There's no need to go sticking your hands up in the air. I'm not going to shoot you, Taffy. Just want you to get to the sergeant up there. Go on, go. No time to waste. Off you go. You two, give him a hand. Off you go. March. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right.
Halt! Who goes there?
Don't miss your fast part, Sergeant. It's only me.
Oh, welcome back, young sir.
I bought these two Welsh boys. They're charming. They've come along to carry you back.
Welsh boys, sir?
Yes, these two Taffies here.
Oh, I see, sir. Right, you two, hit the hook.
Yeah, natürlich. You speak Welsh too, do you, Sergeant?
No, sir, that is my bit of German. These here are two German soldiers what you brought back to do the carrying.
German? Oh, how about that then? How very German, so...
Just as well he brought two. All right, then. One of you pick me up, the other one carry him, and off we go.
And that's how I got my first DSL.
Distinguished Service Order.
Yes. And the DSL. Least they could do, rescuing a wounded sergeant under fire and capturing two dastardly, ferocious enemy soldiers in the face of extreme danger.
It didn't sound as though you were in extreme danger.
That's all you know, lad. Don't try wandering out there in the dark. You could fall over anything.
How long did you stay at the front?
Difficult to remember. Certainly for most of the day.
Only one day?
Only. You try it, lad. There won't be so much of the only.
Were you transferred to staff?
No, I don't think so. Not then. No, I went somewhere else. Ah, yes. Flying. That's what I did.
In the Air Force?
Well, it certainly wasn't in the Navy. Yes, it wasn't in the Air Force. No, it wasn't. It wasn't what the bloke called it. What did he call it?
Who?
The fellow that came round asking people to join it. A flying...
A Royal Flying Corps?
That's it! Made it sound very attractive, he did. Naturally, I went. I remember arriving at the field, Squadron 13. A lot of people would have thought that was unlucky. So did I.
You take P for Peter.
Pardon?
P.
Well, anyone's entitled to be a bit nervous. Ask yourself, how would you feel?
No, that's your plane there. P for Peter.
Oh, yes, it's a bit nothy. Look at that row of little holes. It's been shot at. I'm not going up in that. That'd be the most terrible draft.
Come on, now get in, switch on, contact, okay, flight, swing the prop. Follow me!
Right-ho!
Not yet, you fool! Wait until I get into the plane. Let me get up in the air first. Now, get away!
Sorry, the front of mine seems to have chewed bits out of the back of yours. Sorry. Should we not bother then?
Get airborne!
Oh, please yourself. Well, it is pretty up here. I must say that. The dawn breaking over the countryside. Oh, look, you can see our shadows. Our little aeroplanes racing across the ground. Which one's me? I'll give a wave. Here, there I am, one from the back. Yes, here they are. That's the skipper in front, and one on the right, and one on the left, and me at the back, and one behind me. There's not supposed to be one behind me. Who could that be behind me? Oh, it's the dreaded Red Barrow. Skipper! Now attracts his attention. Why, fire me gun, that's it. Skipper! Oh, he's heard me. Where's he going? No, it's all right. You don't have to land. It's only me. There's this man behind us, the Barrow. Well, really, you can't call that leadership. First little scuffle and he's down on the ground. What did they say? Now, if the flight leader is downed, lovely choice of phrase, that downed, command will be taken over by number 2. It'll be him on the left. Yoo-hoo! Number 2! Now I'm being noticed. I'll give him a burst. Oh! Now, I don't think that was my fault. Sorry, I was just trying to attract your attention. If there's any trouble, I'll pay for the bit I shot off. Sorry. Oh, he's waving. That's nice. No offence. Yes, I'm getting your message, but I can't do a victory roll. Now, there's only the other one. Oh, I'll get close enough to shout to him. Here. No, don't keep turning away. I want to talk to you. Stop waving me off. I've got to tell you. How can I talk if I don't get close enough? Stay still a minute. There's a man. What are you shouting about? Oh, yes, I see. Oh, it's caught, isn't it? A little bit of loose wire on my wing, caught on your wing. But don't worry, I'm sure it won't do any harm. Oh, honestly, it must be very shoddy material. Oh, all right, then you go ahead and land. Land. Oh, now I call that clumsy. Oh, there's only me now. Me and him, the Red Barrow. Come on then, have a tune.
And what happened then, Williams?
Most extraordinary thing, sir. I turned towards him and went into an attack, but he just left. He sort of saluted with one hand, gave me the thumbs up, and he flew off. I came home.
All by yourself?
Yes, I did explain that bit about the others.
Sir, it's the Red Baron. He's making an approach, sir.
Look out, he's dropping something.
It's a bomb.
No, it's not. No, it's a packet. Let me see what it is. Oh. Williams, I think this must be for you.
And that's how I came to get my first Iron Cross.
Your first? You mean you got another one?
Yes, but not until the Second World War. Something to do with my mentioning D-Day to a lady, I think. Brunhilde von Schloss, that was her name. Of course, I thought she was French. Name like that, you know.
Yes. Did you serve all over the world?
Yes, only a bit at a time there. India, China, Russia.
You were in Russia, General.
Really? So was I, yes, October Revolution. Oh, I almost started it in July.
Oh.
Very unstable lot, the Russians.
Why were you in Russia?
My very question. First thing I asked the ambassador. Why was I in Russia?
You know, Sergei, or Sergei, depending on your proclivities. I mean, if it weren't for meeting you like this, you know what I mean, coming to this charming little estaminet or cafe with you of an evening, I think I would have gone out of my mind here in Russia. Out of my mind.
Duh.
Yes, as you so rightly said. Yes. This place is a lifesaver to me, you know.
Duh.
I just die if I can't get stimulating conversation.
Duh.
You should speak a little English, that's all.
Duh.
I'm not complaining, I just feel it might improve the conversation a bit.
Niet.
Makes the change.
I speak English.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Oh, how do you do? Oh, yes, very nice. Won't you sit down and join us?
Thank you, Captain Williams.
Oh, fancy you know my name.
I have been trying to make contact with you for days.
Really?
Kenneth.
Oh, what for?
I want you to help us.
Certainly. What is it? Winter relief, children's homes. I've only got a few rubles on me, but you're very welcome. Give as you can give. I always...
Niet. It is not money.
Oh.
I need your body.
Oh? Oh, well...
It will be an inspiration.
I don't know about that. My pectoral muscles have a certain novelty value, but I wouldn't say that.
All of us.
Oh, exactly. How many of you are there?
14.
Oh!
In my cell.
Cell? What, you in prison? What are you doing out then? You on parole?
In the movement.
No, I'm not with you. What move?
Come, I will show you. Thank you very much indeed. Very nice. That is nice. Why are they all clapping me like this? They are delighted to see you.
I'm sure, but why? What did you say to them all?
I told them you were an English soldier, an ally.
And all that applause?
They're so happy, so relieved.
Yeah, what do you mean, relieved? What do you mean, relieved?
Yes, they were told that if our comrades at the front tried to leave the capitalist war, they would be stopped by the fierce, strong soldiers of the Allies, and they believed it. They believed it because they had never seen an ally.
Oh.
But now they have you, and that is why they are laughing.
Hey, hang on.
And now the revolution can start.
So, as a direct result of seeing me, they started preparations. Otherwise, it would never have happened. But for my presence in Moscow, there might never have been a communist state. I can say that without fear of contradiction, because I'm not frightened of it. Why should I? I'm used to it. I've been contradicted all my life. What were you saying?
No. You were saying.
Anyway, it must be your turn now.
I'm interested, General.
Look, I'm very flattering of you. I'm surely far too old for you. Little slipper laird like you.
General, are you proud of your part in the Russian Revolution?
A man should always be proud of his effect on history or geography. Not too much about mathematics. This is it, isn't it? I mean, this is it, isn't it? I mean, mathematics is it, isn't it? I mean,
Hitler had an effect on history.
Oh, the fellow with the moustache. Oh, I remember him. All that business sticking his head up in the air every 5 minutes. Like a clever dick with the answer, wasn't it? Yeah. Crank, I said. Crank he was, too. It's all in my book. A button in the knapsack. No, a baton in the rucksack. I mean, yes. I told the cabinet at the time, take no notice of him, I said. He's a rabble-rouser.
You dismissed him.
I never employed him.
Well, what about Mussolini?
Fellow who invented the wireless. Didn't know him. I'll tell you this, he's got a lot to answer for. What's he done with Jesse Matthews? The
Italian dictator.
What?
The dictator.
Oh, Charlie Chaplin. Great dictator, yes, I saw that. Very funny. Never made me laugh. Where did I see it? Reminds me of Rice. Yes. The Far East. That's where I learned all about the yellow devils. They might have fooled others, but they didn't fool me.
Welcome to my humble house, Major Weir.
Thank you. Very nice. I love all these oriental things, you know, hanging down on these balls. They're sort of foreign, you know what I mean? Pretty. Very nice.
Yes.
Foreign.
Yes.
Yes, very nice. Not for you, of course. You are foreign, aren't you? I mean,
we are all but visitors in a strange land.
Of course, you were born here.
I was quoting from the works of my ancestors.
Oh, writers, eh? Yes. I had an uncle who did bits for men only. But, Williams is all in the army, my family, all in the army.
Yes, it is for that reason I wish to have you visit me in my humble house.
I would say humble, flimsy, but not humble.
This is the land of the earthquake.
Earthquake?
Yes, if a house may fall, it is better that its weight should not crush.
Well, much better, every time. I mean, nobody wants to go around being crushed to this place, do they? I mean, crushed velvet, but not crushed people.
Major Williams.
Yes, speaking.
A great weight is about to fall on my people.
Now, what's happened? You haven't had a rumble, have you? I mean, should we all get under a bed or something? And you get an earthquake? I mean, a rumble?
No, the rumble is not from the land. It is from the neighbors.
Oh, having parties, are they? Very irritating. I want to say people living over my head. Dreadful noise. I couldn't step.
Our neighboring country. We believe that any day they will send their army to attack us.
Well, you're right. You don't have to worry. I know all about it.
You do?
Oh, yes. And because you've been so kind, hospitable, I'll tell you. I'm in touch with quite a few people, you know. It's top secret, but I can assure you, in the event of an attack, the British will come in on your side, the side of the Chinese.
Thank you, Major Williams.
That's all right.
Only one problem.
What's that?
I am Japanese.
How will you not all look alike? They're lepsies.
General?
What is it? What's happening? What?
It's 10 o'clock.
What is?
The time.
What? 1 o'clock, isn't it?
Well...
Oh, two. Oh, you better count them for yourself.
I'll turn it off.
I know you should have done that. Stopping Big Ben like that. Half the nation will be late for work.
I only switched off the television. It's 10 o'clock.
Oh, yes. 10 o'clock. May I ask you something?
Yes, certainly, General.
Who are you?
Oh, I'm here to meet you to do a program, an interview about your life.
Wife? My wife? I'm not married. I've already told you.
Oh, how could I forget?
A hairnet? How dare you? I've never worn one, not for years. When I was a boy, of course, with the very long hair, huh?
Yes, you told me that before.
Bore? Who's a bore? How dare you, madam?
This is where I came in.
Come in, my boy. Let me tell you the story of my life.
This week's Kenneth Williams Playhouse presentation was The General by Leslie Randall, starring Kenneth Williams and June Whitfield with Bill Wallace and Christopher Emmett. The program was produced by Simon Brett.
We present Kenneth Williams' Playhouse, a series of programs which have one thing in common. Their star is Kenneth Williams. This week's Playhouse presentation also stars Lance Percival and Miriam Margolyes in Get On With It.
Hello, Miriam. Hello, Lance.
Hello, Ken.
You know today is going to be a good day.
How do you know?
Well, this morning I felt it. I felt it. Yes, all sorts of omens. I'm a great one for omens.
Yes, I've
For a
heard.
start, listen, I had a great food for breakfast and I managed to cut out alternate segments all the way round.
That's supposed to be lucky.
Yes, and when I got to the station, the train stopped with a carriage door right in front of me.
Well, that's always a good sign.
Yes, then I got here without treading on a single line on the pavement.
I nearly managed that, except I suddenly found I couldn't get to the next square.
Oh, why not?
It was on the other side of the road.
A friend of mine found that and tried to jump over, but he walked under a ladder.
Oh, that's unlucky.
I should say, it was on the back of a fire engine. But the fire engine was able to stop because by chance a bus pulled up suddenly in front of it.
Well, that was lucky.
No, unlucky. It was a number 13 bus. Then it had stopped to let a black cat cross its path.
Oh, that's lucky, a black cat.
Ah, but it was chasing a magpie.
A magpie? No, let me see.
Yes.
1 for sorrow, 2 for joy. So one magpie was unlucky.
No, there was another magpie.
Oh, cheat.
Yes, but it flew into a traffic mirror by a level crossing. It broke the mirror, it did.
Oh, that's unlucky. That's 7 years bad luck.
What's more, a train was coming, and because of the broken mirror, the fire engine driver didn't see it coming, and was going over the crossing, and with my friend still clinging on underneath.
Oh, how unlucky.
But the fire engine got across.
That's lucky.
But my friend lost his grip and fell on the line.
Yes.
And the train tried to stop.
That's lucky.
But failed.
Oh, no.
Yes, several carriages went over him before it managed to stop.
Oh, how unlucky.
No, it was lucky. Yes, because when it did stop, he was bang opposite a carriage door. That was a day, wasn't he?
And now over to the Old Bailey and the court, presided over by Mr. Justice Fizzwacket.
Oh, Ralph Blenkinsop!
Oh, Ralph Blenkinsop!
Oh, Ralph Blenkinsop!
Are you Ralph Blenkinsop?
Yes, my lad.
And did you, last Saturday afternoon, run the full length of the crowded High Street?
Yes, my lad.
And were you completely naked, apart from the saucepan? Have you ever done this sort of thing before?
No, never, my lad.
Case dismissed. Obviously just a flash in the pan.
Time now for our regular phone-in forum. If you've got a problem, why don't you call us up? And the first caller is now on the line.
I'll be short. I'm worried about inflation. I can't make my money go as far as it used to.
And what do you do for a living, sir?
I'm a forger.
An Irish...
forger.
An Irish forger, yes. And what currency do you forge?
I melt down penny pieces and make twopenny pieces. Sometimes I melt down 10 penny pieces and make 50 penny pieces.
Well, there can't be much profit in that.
I was thinking that myself, so I've started melting down pound notes.
And good luck to you. So next caller, please.
Hello? This is an obscene phone call.
Hello, heavy breather.
Hello?
You've got the wrong number. Yeah, the number you want is 6475. Thank you. Now I think we've got a housewife on the line. A housewife?
Yes, hello.
Hello. And how are you spending this merry morning?
Oh, I like to have a cup of tea and a chap.
A chap?
No, I was joking.
Oh, I see.
Now, I think it's disgusting the way some housewives carry on. I mean, with the milkman and that. It stops them getting on with the housework.
Well, is your milkman like that?
Oh, no. He always helps me make the bed afterwards. By the way, did you transfer an obscene phone call just now?
Yes, I'm sorry. Have you rung to complain?
No, I rang to say thank you.
Well, thank you, and please don't call me at work again, dear. Who's next on the line?
Hello, Dean.
Hello.
I want to say something about the way us outlaws and bad guys is shown in films about the old Wild West.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the way we shown you get to thinking we never shave, we're always spitting and chewing tobacco, wiping our noses on our sleeves. Well, I reckon you ain't got the whole picture.
In what way?
Well, we don't smell too good either.
Thank you very much. Thank you, John Wayne. Well, perhaps some other people think they get a raw deal in films. Who's the next caller, please?
Hello? I am protesting to Honourable BBC for showing Chinese as inscrutable Fu Manchus, always banging gongs and speaking in proverbs and making up littles for Christmas crackers.
Hello? Making up littles?
Littles for Christmas crackers.
Oh, sorry about this.
We laughing stock. Remember, he who laughs last, laugh longest. And by the way, what is the difference between a flawed squad and a hysterical woman?
I don't know. What is the difference between the fraud squad and an hysterical woman?
One gets twisters in the neck and the other one gets her knickers.
Thank you. And the next caller, please.
Is that Mr. Percival?
Yes.
Oh, how exciting. I always listen to your programme.
Oh, that's very nice of you to say.
Oh, yes, I do always. Whenever I'm tired and worn out, or irritable, or miserable even, I know I can always turn to you and the radio.
And you just switch me on?
No, I'll switch you off.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to warm the cockles and the muscles of your hearts with an old sea shanty about a mermaid. Grimsby Bay, I met a maid. She was a mermaid. I was in the fishing trade, and she was quite a dish. Her face was sweet, her hair was straight, her bottom such as I would hate to see carved up at Billingsgate as hunks of fish. A wooing, a mermaid beat my ruine. She was worth pursuing, was my mermaid. I asked her, will you marry me? She said, you're joking. Still, who cares when you're at sea? So on the rocks we played. I held her tight and kissed a lot. I found she wasn't half red hot. The other side, of course, was not with my mermaid. A wooing, and so much be like doing. Takes a lot of doing with my mermaid. If we had children soon, my sweet, what would they look like? With fishes' eggs and human feet, then they'd be caught, I fear. They may not swim so fast or well, and may get caught, but I can tell that once on land they'd run like hell and swim back here. A wooing, a mermaid be my ruin. I feel the troubles brewing with my mermaid. How did you
you escape our net and our harpoon and gun. But sailors catch what they can get, and they had you in mind. You know how nice your bait can be, and there's no sailor on the sea whose tackle is a threat to me, as you will find. I know what I am doing, and it's better than ship's crewing with my bare maid. But very soon we reach the stage. Where do we go from here? Waterbeds are still the rage, and she said, I dare say, but marry some girl from the docks. With me you get some nasty shocks. A marriage starting on the rocks will end that way. A wooing, a mermaid's be my ruin. So I picked her up and threw in my sweet mermaid. Excuse me.
Yes.
This is the passport office, is it?
Yes, may I be of assistance?
Oh, yes, I've come to get a passport.
You mean you've come to apply for a passport?
Yeah, I've come to apply.
I presume you have all the relevant documents duly completed in your possession?
Oh, yes, here's my form and all my things.
A bit grubby, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it got left in my pants when the wife washed them.
Yes, well, I suppose it could be copied. Yes, let's just see what mistakes you've made here. You people usually do make mistakes. Yes, what's this? Visible peculiarities? None?
No.
Well, what about that nose?
What about my nose?
Oh, dear, that'll never do. No. I better alter that to, exceptionally large proboscis.
Yeah. Hang on. What's that mean?
Well, it's a sort of snout or trunk.
You mean like an elephant?
You could say that, yeah.
Oh.
Now, then, these ears of yours, I think they warrant a mention. Let's see, now, big floppy ears should cover them, I think.
No, stop.
Yeah, skin and general appearance should be noted.
What do you mean? What's wrong with my skin?
Well, it's not so much your skin that's at fault. It just doesn't seem to be... There seems to be too much of it, that's all, really. Combine that with your general appearance and you'll see what I mean. Now, general appearance. Yes, somewhat elephantine, I would say.
Elephantine? Hang on. From that description, I'll only need 2 tusks and I'll be a flipping elephant.
Oh, you mean you're not?
Well, of course I'm not. Any idiot can see that.
Oh, wait a minute. I better put my glasses on.
Yeah, you better put your glasses on.
Yes, you're right. You're right. You don't look a bit like an elephant now, do you?
No.
I feel such a fool.
Yes, I think so.
Well, I better amend this form then. Yes. Now, how do you spell rhinoceros?
Unlikely Cases of Sherlock Holmes, number 74, The Italian Restaurant.
Excellent places, these Italian restaurants, Holmes. I mean, like a stomach full of Italian food.
Alimentary, my dear Watson. This one is particularly noted for its wines. Waitress, would you pour me a little taste from that bottle of Valpolicella?
Ah, si, signor. Very good. A little to taste.
A new wine, 1974, in fact, dry, from a hillside near the Rhone, I think probably the vineyard of Vicenza.
Oh, very astute of you, Holmes.
I recommend this wine. It is from my own village.
Bottom left-hand corner of the vineyard.
How do you know that, Holmes?
The grapes were harvested from the perimeters of the vineyard, where they're sheltered from the sun half of the day by the hillside of the other valley.
Great heavens, you astound me, sir.
And trodden in the vat by someone with very small feet. The grapes were obviously longer in the trading process. That's always usual, then. It takes someone with small feet longer, you see. Oh, heavens above, Watson. I think we're on to a murder.
What, Holmes?
I can detect a trace of blood. Blood group O. A stabbing, I would say.
How can you possibly know that, Holmes?
I can taste particles of metal from the knife. And there are traces of perspiration, which means the victim was stabbed from in front.
Magnificent, Holmes, but why?
Elementary, my dear Watson. The blood flowed down the front of the body to the toes, where all perspiration of the foot resides, not on the heel.
May I pour the wine now, Signor?
No, wait, you impertinent chit. Now, if he was stabbed from in front, the killer must have been someone he knew. He saw him coming and let him approach. Now, who would he allow to climb in the vat with him?
A friend or a relative?
Or a wife or a lover, Watson? These vineyards are run by families. Wait, though. There's a trace of another blood group. OA negative, if I'm not mistaken. That of a distant cousin, perhaps, who must have inflicted a wound on himself or herself.
You are a genius, Holmes.
Probably when she tried to withdraw the knife. Now, the body must have fallen into the vat, so the killer must have cut her hand trying to retrieve the knife from the depths of the vat before making her escape, probably self-imposed exile to another country.
It's remarkable, Holmes.
Shall I pour the wine now, Signor?
Our criminal is therefore an Italian from Vicenza, sunburnt on one side of the face due to living in a half-sheltered valley, probably working in a restaurant somewhere with a scar on her head and very small feet, an inherited family feature with a tendency to fall over.
Holmes, the waitress has fallen over, revealing the other side of her face and a scar on her hand. And she's cut herself.
Just as I thought. Blood group OA negative.
Signor! Is it true, davvero? Is it true? Poor Papa Roberto! I kill him! Please, no tell. I will do anything for you. Anything I will do. Tell me. What must I do?
Before the wine, they were gasping.
And now back to the Old Bailey and Mr. Justice Fizzwacket.
Call Tiny Shrimpton! Call Tiny Shrimpton!
Oh, Tiny Shrimpton!
Are you Tiny Shrimpton?
Yes, my lad.
Of near fixed abode?
Yes, my lad.
And are you a circus midget with Scruffy Bill's circus?
Yes, my lad.
And did you on September 28th attempt to assault the giant lady?
Well, yes, my lad.
Have you anything to say in your defense?
Well, yes, I have, my lad. You see, it was my mates what put me up to it.
And now a beauty hint from our beauty expert, Miss Miriam Margulies.
Yes.
And what are you going to tell us about today, Miriam?
How to get rid of your crow's feet.
And how do you do that?
Brush it on the toes with a chloramiracle. Doctor, shall I bring the next patient in?
Yes, nurse. Yes,
right, well, this way, please, sir.
Come in. What can we do for you?
Well, I got the blues so bad I just can't sleep at night.
I beg your pardon?
I said, I got the blues so bad I just can't sleep at night.
Yes, the blues, yes, there's a lot of it about, isn't there? Yes. How long have you had this trouble?
Ever since I lost my baby, I can't tell wrong from right.
You lost a baby? Oh, the baby, your baby. Oh, you lost your baby. Ah, yes, I see. Right, but I think we'll just take a few details, don't you? Try to find out what's the cause. Could I have your name?
Well, they call me Howlin' Jake. I got Mississippi in my veins.
Mississippi is not a common blood group. Let's see what we can do. And the address, please, Mr. Jake.
I was born in poverty. I've known misery, death, and pain.
Aspirins. Aspirins. Very good for that. We can always slip you a bottle of those. Yes, and how are the waterworks?
Well, I just broke out of jail. Now I'm on the run again.
Right, yes, it's a familiar pattern, isn't it? Yes. Now, I wonder if you would just open your mouth for me. Say, please. Could you do that? Say, Fine. And again, please. Once more, please. Yes, well, there's not much wrong with the old heartbeat, is there? No, look, could you just lie down here on the couch? That's fine. Now, you'd better take your guitar off. That's right. Now, just hold still. I can assure you this is going to hurt you more than it's going to hurt me. There, that should do it. Now, Mr. Dunican, shall we try it once again?
Well, hello there. I'd like to sing a song from Paddy O'Donnell and Daily Lady's Donkey. Walking Tall. Once again, over to the Old Bailey and Mr. Justice Fizzwacket.
You see that girl over there, Usher? I say, ask her if she's not doing anything tonight, whether she'd like to come out to a restaurant.
Yes, my lad. Tell that girl the judge would like to take her out to a restaurant and she's not doing anything. Pass it on.
Oh, yes. Tell the girl the judge is going to take away restaurant for dinner if she's not doing anything. Pass it on.
Yes, all right. But tell the girl, all right, that the judge would like to have her for dinner if she's got nothing on.
Excuse me, miss, the judge says he could eat you for dinner and wants to have you.
What?
Only if you haven't got anything on.
Oh, you can tell the judge I've never heard such a suggestion.
Yes, miss, tell the judge she's got indigestion. Pass it on.
Is she ill?
Oh, yes, you can tell the judge. Pass it on.
Oh, she's ill. You can tell it's something the judge has passed on.
Pardon?
The judge has passed on.
The judge has passed on. Good, I must pass it on to you. Usher. And tell the judge has passed on.
It looks all right to me.
Have you passed it on?
I passed it.
What are you muttering about, Usher? Will that girl come out and have dinner with me tonight?
No, my lad. What? She thinks you're past it.
And now it's time for our midnight horror story. The gripping tale of the American city terrorized by the giant spider. Let us turn the pages of the casebook of investigator extraordinary Gritstone. The story starts in a small municipality on the edge of the Arizona desert, in the house of a distraught scientist. To his rescue comes Gritstone.
Good evening.
You come just in time. How is this going out? You must be Gritstone.
Investigator extraordinary.
Yes, I see what you mean.
And this is Miss Cherry, my aide.
Hi, Doc.
But Gritstone, she's a woman.
Yeah, I told you that chest wig wouldn't fool anybody.
But this is no place for a woman. Anyway, come in, the pair of you. And you too, Gritstone, yes. Something terrible has happened. It almost happened. You see, for years, I've been working on a growth booster drug to find the secret of growth acceleration in animals. Their acceleration, you understand. Last night I injected a spider with a drug, and this morning I came down to my laboratory and it was gone.
And you want us to find your laboratory?
No! The spider! There's no telling what size it could be by now. You see, it's knocked down an entire outside wall there. What shall I do?
We could build on a sun lounge.
Grit, look! Out there in the desert!
Good heavens! A spider!
It must be all of 100 feet high.
Oh, I haven't seen an insect that big since I was knee-high to a grasshopper.
Look! It's heading towards the city.
Oh! Don't it know it's early closing? Hold it back, Doc. Hold it back. What's his name?
No, I have no control over it.
There's only one thing to do. Give me a double dose of the growth booster drug.
Now, what good will that do?
Well, then I can go out and tread on it.
I can't let you do that, Doctor. You see, I love him.
Well, I can see your problem, Miss Cherry, but don't worry, I can get him back to normal afterwards.
You can?
Now, this won't hurt a bit, Gritstone. Yes. Yeah, won't hurt a bit, it'll hurt a lot. Never mind. Now you should start growing. There. I've seen seen grown men weep after injections, but I've never seen a weeping man grow. 8 feet, 9 feet, 10 feet, mind the ceiling, Gritstone! Oh, I should have taken him outside the house first.
What's happening, Doc? And what's that marble pillar? I wasn't there just now.
That's Gritstone's leg, Miss Cherry.
And what's that?
His other leg.
And what's that?
Well, that's his other... Hey, wait a minute. How many legs has your friend got here? 2, 4, 6, 8, and they're mighty hairy.
Doc, you've turned him into a spider.
Oh, butterfingers.
Look, he's going out after the other one. Give me the antidote syringe. I'm going after him.
No, hey, come back, Miss Cherry. Come back. He'll tear you apart. Come back.
Well, you've sure done it this time, Doc.
You've started a proper panic.
Listen to that. That's just the police force. All right, men, get your guns loaded and fire away.
No, you can't do that, sir.
Hold it.
You might hit the girl.
What's she doing out there?
She's in love with one of the spiders.
Well, it takes all sorts, I suppose.
Injection to reduce the size.
What about the girl?
Well, she's okay for size.
Well, here it comes. Good luck, Doc. Good luck.
Oh, you're just in time, Doc. Yeah, that was a close shave. I nearly had Miss Cherry on top of me.
Hello, everybody.
Miss Cherry, what have you done with the spider?
I injected it with the antidote. He's back to normal.
A little spider?
No, silly. Look, here he is.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, 2 Gritstones?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's worse than big spiders. All right, squad. Number off from the left. Now.
1,
2, 3, 4. All right, you horrible lot. Let's have it again, properly this time, properly. Number off from the left. Now.
1,
2, 3, 4. All right, you. Are you 1?
Yes, you 1 too.
Get the heck out of here.
This week's Kenneth Williams Playhouse presentation was Get On With It by Peter Spence, with additional material by Arnold Brown, Jeremy Brown, Howard Imber, Les Lilly, Patrick Murray and Brendan Martin, Phil Redmond and David Wenwick. The music was by the Nick Rowley Trio. The show, of course, starred Kenneth Williams, Lance Percival, Miriam Margulies, and was produced by Simon Brett.
Gentlemen, Kenneth Williams Cabaret. For the next 27 minutes, starting now, without hesitation, repetition, or deviation, but with interruption from star guests, you'll be in the company of Mr. Kenneth Williams.
Welcome to half an hour of fun, frippery and frolic. It was to have been an hour, actually, but half the show got cut on account of the scriptwriter was half cut. I mean, some of the ideas were ludicrous. You see, come on in the Dorita swingback with the Diamante bodice and sing this number. Light the lights, clear the tracks. You've got nothing to do but... Yes, that's what they want me to do. Can you imagine? I said, rubbish, no factory, not me. I'm more your suave butch. Yes, I said I'm your suave butch cocktail with a double turn, really. I do that nicely. You notice that? I do it charmingly, don't I? And it comes triple-duty on the gun. Strange. It was not strange, though. No. You freeze, yes. But stroking, no. Can't have a strange note. Welcome to the show. I mean, they would be fine elsewhere, wouldn't they? If you strained a ligament or something. You can't shout at them either like some temple sergeant major. Breaking! Ruin, Tom. Have a clarity. You end up with the bronchial blockage, you have to. But enough of my troubles. We'll get on our first guest this evening, and